You tell him! You tell him I'm coming! Tell him I'm fucking coming!
Straight out the Brooklyn basement. It's the GodMode Podcast. GodMode Podcast. GodMode Podcast. GodMode Podcast. GodMode Podcast.
Yeah. Welcome back. GodMode Podcast. 189. Cooking them. It's good to be back. It's good to be back at full steam. You know what I'm saying? And tonight's episode hopefully will not be interrupted by shitty internet. Please, shitty internet, not tonight. All right, it was confirmed. No shitty internet. And I have never had this much security in here. I don't know how I'm composed, really. I happen to get an interview of a lifetime. I have a retired dictator here today. I hope I don't pronounce his name wrong, to be honest with y'all. So I'm gonna try. Right? May I present Apollonius? Escucha de bravato.
Hello. I see you. Do you see me?
No answer.
That's it.
Yo, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for doing this, bro. I've been waiting so long to get you on this show. Like, it's just like, since this show's inception, I was like, yo, the shit me and Apollo talk about, this is the stuff that podcasts are made of.
Indeed.
You know, the prequel to the podcast.
I've just been busy now, just stroking my beard. That's what I do now. I'm just at home. I just rub it and just plop. Just look out my window and be like, one day, soon.
Petting a cat and shit.
Soon, exactly. I do, yeah. Okay.
Yo, we have a legitimate, retired dictator, man. Listen, how's it feel to be off the island, man, after all this time? I mean, welcome to the mainland, I guess.
It's okay. It's not as much dictating to do, but I try. I yell at my cats.
Why would you yell at them?
Yeah, it's what dictators do. You cannot just simply talk. You must yell.
Ramon!
I must yell. I must point with 4 fingers, at all times. And you look like this. That is the dictator way.
You scarily know a lot about this, man.
Indeed.
Yo, we had so many topics that we were talking about. Like, I want to start with one of them, and I know your memory's better than mine.
Oh God, there's so many stuff, so many things.
Like, we had to stop talking off camera because it was like, yo, no. This gotta go on.
I'm so bad. I forgot what we were talking about right before we started shooting this, just outside. Like, we were just talking about stuff, and we're like, let's wait, hold on, and then it's like, yep, I don't know. And it was something interesting.
It's like an Etch-a-Sketch. We just go and
it's gonna come to me like later on tonight. It's like, damn it.
It's all right. It's all right. It'll come back. But that's.
Oh God.
No.
I mean, you started off. How you doing, buddy?
Shit, I'm all right, man. I'm doing good. I'm glad to be back in the saddle.
Very good.
You know what I mean? But dude, it's crazy. Like, I'm still trying to remember what we talked about, and I know there was no hallucinogenics involved in anything.
No.
Well, Elon Musk.
Okay, yeah.
Let's
Elon
start
Musk. We're
there.
talking about Elon Musk and Neuronet and how that's like the thing I'm looking forward to in life right now.
Right.
Neuronet.
Right.
That to me just sounds amazing.
What is it for those who don't know?
I don't even know. I mean, it's basically being a cyborg.
The basis of
it's a cyborg. You're essentially a cyborg. You will be able to, from what he describes, initially it would help with any anything wrong with the brain. It'll fix problems with anything, like stroke victims, people with, I mean, anything. But then he was saying like the next level, the part of it is enhanced learning. Essentially, Google now, you got your phone, you Google something, but now it's like you just think about it.
And it Googles it for
and
you.
It will Google it for you. And the
preloaded into your brain.
It goes right into your brain. So it's essentially the Matrix. It's the Neo.
Jesus
when he's like,
Christ.
Oh, I'm going to learn Kung Fu. And then, I know Kung Fu now. Yeah. It's exactly that. It's just information is going to be directly downloaded into your brain.
What do you think? Is that pro or con? I mean, I'd love to learn how to play the guitar.
It's got to be pro. I can't see cons for it unless you get hacked.
Right.
Like,
okay, now it's not a computer getting hacked.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was thinking of. But like he was saying, like language-wise and stuff like that, like you'll be able to speak any language. You can go somewhere and just be translating the language you're hearing to your brain as your language, and then like you'll be able to speak back.
Oh, insane.
That's amazing.
That's
no barriers. You just go somewhere and you just start talking to people.
It's a great move towards Civ 1.
Yeah, it'll bring people together, I think.
Yeah.
The learning factor in it's amazing, and he was even saying if someone else has it, you can speak telepathically. Can't talk telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of look at someone and be like, and just sending a text to their brain.
And we're waiting for that.
I mean, to me, that's like as big as like smartphones are to us now.
Yeah.
And how that changed the game.
Literally.
Of the way people communicate with FaceTime and just getting information at all times. And that's going to be the next level. It's just now everything's instant. Now everything's just going to be in your brain.
Right.
And you're, no more typing to the person. It's like, I want to text Boris. I just kind of squint real hard.
Then my ear will go off.
Your nose starts bleeding. Oh, Apollo's texting me. God. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I'm fascinated by that kind of stuff because that's like next level evolution kind of stuff.
It's a game changer, a permanent game changer, and like you say, an evolutionary move to where getting better will become that much easier with this.
Yeah. The only negative side, I mean, I don't know how that will work, but I was thinking like just the way they market to you through your phone. Imagine they start marketing like directly to your brain. You just wake up one day and you're like, I really need a new couch and something. I don't know why. I'm just thinking about this specific couch, and it's like
targeted marketing is gonna go in a whole new direction.
Yeah. So,
but then again, they can also sell you medical shit like that and scare the fuck out of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking if like you can teach people languages and they can just all speak a new language or new skills. Bad stuff too. Like you can just like hack someone's mind and put some bad information in there or something like that.
And then who, like the teachers, the physical educators, what happens to them when that technology comes out? They're practically worthless.
I don't know. I guess it still has to be a basis.
So then
a baseline of interpreting the information. You still have to know how to like interpret just like how to use your phone. You still have to be able to like interpret the information you're reading.
Right.
So you have to be able to interpret what you're getting.
So maybe the training facilities are just going to be the minimal in understanding of the main control device.
But yeah, that one blows me away though. That's like true science fiction to me.
Right.
I mean, everything is science fiction now. Phones are science fiction. That was stuff on Star Trek.
Exactly.
When they had their, beam me up, and then, they look at the phone. I mean, everything like that.
We have most of that stuff.
Yeah.
Already, except the warp drive and teleportation.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everything else, I think, they have covered.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of living in old sci-fi now. But that's just like the next level. That's the next step. That's just going to take us even further.
What scares the shit out of me, and I'm just sharing our podcast with a bunch of groups real quick. What scares the shit out of me is the fact that, oh, what's up, Chris? I mean, damn, I forgot what I was going to say. The negatives of it are still going to be,
if there's negatives. This is all hypothetical right now. I really have no idea. Well, he's probably like, if you heard us talking now, he's like, oh, morons. You don't know yourself. He's probably like, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be safe and all that stuff. But
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like everything can get exploited. Whenever anything comes out, it can get exploited. So there's always going to be like someone trying to figure out like, how can I exploit this? You know.
And eventually they're gonna.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There'll be something. There'll be like, you have to start like buying into like firewalls for your brain,
Right.
or something like that.
Of course, the antivirus people will work with the virus people, and it'll just be like, all right, let's both make money,
Yeah.
keep the show going, you know. But
Yeah.
good.
No, nothing. I'm just saying it's just amazing to me. Like every time I hear him talk about it, it's just so fascinating. And then he's saying it's going to be like within like 5 to 10 years.
He's giving realistic timelines and following through,
Yeah.
and that scares the shit out of lazy people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, think about it. He's like, we're gonna launch the spacecraft, and it's gonna do this, this, and this. If we can do it, we can. If we can't, we can. But he does it, and it can. So it's like, all right, moving on to the next step.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, how'd you do that? Took the step.
That's crazy. I mean, I just think about when I got the very first iPhone. I was fascinated that it was the actual internet on my phone.
Right.
It wasn't like it was the real internet.
The browser.
The actual browser. I can go and surf the internet. I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
Right.
And I can go do this and it.
Right.
That wasn't that long ago.
Nope.
Know?
Nope. How
That
many
wasn't that
years
long
ago was that?
I don't know. 10? No, a little bit more.
A little bit more.
A little bit more, like 13, 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
But still, yeah.
So
I mean,
these things are still in their infancy.
yeah.
The shit that we're going to be doing, you know, because like the next big leap is going to be VR for the home systems. So after that, I'm assuming that the phones will have to follow up for relevance, you know, and they probably will go augmented reality to where
Yeah.
you're walking down the street and the advertisements are there. Hey, Tom, drink this.
Well, he was saying something like that. He was saying like it can actually, it would be able to repair certain eye damage. So if you were like blind, depending on the condition, it can fix it can give you vision.
Wow.
So I'm imagine it could probably also show you stuff too, you know, like it,
In your mind's eye.
yeah, like you said, like augmented reality, just like
Right. Or like a little contact lens maybe, or something.
he was saying too on one podcast. So he was like that it could get to the point even where like that film, what was that Jim Carrey film, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, when they erase the memories.
Right.
He was saying like if you had bad memories, you can essentially like go back and like, I don't like those memories, and just get rid of them, scrub them from your brain.
Right.
And he was also saying like you can put in other memories. You can like, because you'll have a perfect memory, just the way a computer perfectly recalls something.
Oof.
You will be able. It's like a Black Mirror episode.
Right.
You know, you would be able to perfectly recall and essentially play back memories like
Right.
videos
Right.
in your mind. So if it's something you didn't like, you can get rid of it. Or something you prefer to remember a different way, you can get it like that.
You can modify.
You can modify yourself,
Jeez.
essentially. Modify the way you think, you know. Get rid of stressful stuff, post-traumatic stress.
Get rid of stress. Exactly.
You know, you don't like a bad traumatic memory, like, I'm going to wipe that and just wipe that away. I mean, but then it's weird because then, like...
The lesson that came with that memory's gone, too.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I feel like it's opening a Pandora's box.
Right.
It could be great things. It could be really weird things. I mean, what he's saying, it sounds almost too good to be true.
Right.
It just sounds like so unbelievable. Like, wow, I could just play back my memories perfectly. You know, I can erase
Like
things.
a video?
Yeah, he was saying like it would be perfect memories. You'll be able to remember things exactly perfectly. You know, and just replay it in your mind.
No, man. That's a little...
That's crazy.
I think people will go insane from that.
Maybe.
Recalling everything.
But that's the thing. You can scrub it too. It's
Right.
just like when you clean up a hard drive. You'd be like, it's a lot of useless memories. I'm just going to scrub those.
So it defogs it, because it feels like our brains fog up memories that are like useless to us.
Yeah.
You know, like day to day of many years that are just normal days, you know. So it's like, all right, we've had plenty of these, let's scrub, and it kind of gives it a fog. But if somebody remembers, like, oh, you remember that time, man? And you're like, oh shit, it was one of those normal days, and I saw that dude. You pull that memory
Well, that's the thing, like,
out
you
of
know,
the fog.
You remember, memories are weird. Like, you remember it the way you remember it, and it always changes.
Right.
But then with this, it'll be like exactly. He's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Hey, you were in a red shirt, yeah, and you went in, and you're like, just be able to play it back
Right.
like a video.
Right.
It's weird, man.
Accountability would be some shit.
That's strange. It's strange to even think of.
Well, it's behavioral modification on top of that.
Yeah.
Because once you're saying that at all times you have to be accountable for your actions, that right there will put a big percentage of the population at an unrest at all times.
I don't know.
You know? And the other half will be like, cool. You know what I mean? So
it's fascinating. I mean, when it gets to be normalized where like everyone has it, you know, just like everyone has an iPhone or a smartphone, you know, before when it first came out, only some people had it, but now like everyone pretty much has a smartphone.
A smartphone, yeah,
of some type. So it'll be like that.
A little tablet, basically.
You know, you'll have your version of it, and you'll be able to play back your memories. Like someone would be like, I could play back my memories faster than yours.
What? I have a solid state hard drive.
Exactly. It's like, what? Your memories are only 1 terabyte? 4 terabyte memory. You know, like.
Yeah, liquid cooled.
Exactly. That's just fast.
Like, is that noise? Oh, okay.
I'm psyched. I hope it comes true because like everything he said so far has, he's like very confident. He's like talks about like how they've been using it on like monkeys, and it's like it's almost too much science fiction, you know. No one like sees the Matrix and thinks like, oh, this is going to be real in like 30-40 years.
Right.
They see that and like, oh, that's some crazy sci-fi stuff. It'll also be cool. But now it's like, oh no, we're going to do this.
Right.
You know, like we're going to do this. Like, wait, what? Do you
think it got influenced by the Matrix?
Probably. There's always been like that of like life imitating art kind of thing. Like everything gets kind of, it feeds into each other. There's a loop. Like someone has an idea and they'll be like, oh, wouldn't this be cool? Then someone sees that who can actually do it.
Concept and design.
Yeah. They're like, you know, someone saw Star Trek back in the day and they were like, it'll be great if we had just like handheld pagers and we, you know, with a little screen that we can talk to each other. And now we have smartphones. You know, someone came around that was like, could actually make those things. You know,
well, they did this bullshit. This was the Ellis shit.
Yeah. There you go.
Starfleet. And it's like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
You just
yeah.
tap.
They would tap in and they start talking. It's the same thing. It's Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And then people start having earpieces.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Just click their earpiece.
Yep. So we're there. Like, tell me
Yeah.
we're not there. We're there.
Right there.
You know, we just don't have the warp drive and we don't have the teleporter.
Yeah.
Those are the two technologies in that show that, you know, without it, the show would be shit. And like, you know, because what are you going to do? Float around our solar system? There ain't shit happening here. You know?
Well, I mean, you had to do a teleporter just for the sake of the show because it's like
Beam
no
me
one
up,
wants to see
Scotty.
people traveling.
To a starship.
You know, like everyone's like, we'll be there
Now.
in 3 hours. We're gonna, you know,
Thanks.
we're gonna fly up there. It's like
We're going to keep
doesn't
in
make
constant
sense.
communication. Nobody cares. No.
We gotta make a teleporter. We gotta make it so they can get here right now, so we can wrap up the show and keep it going. You know,
like, dude, we only have 47 minutes.
It's like, did you watch like Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
Towards like the last season, the dragons just started getting everywhere instantly. Like they had fast travel, and you could tell it's just like obviously that's supposed to be a huge distance. Like they just flew over like a continent,
Right.
but in the show it was like they would be there in like 5 minutes,
Right.
and it was like, how is that even possible? It was just like they didn't even care. They were just like, we need the show going. We can't have
Like, dude, this is magic, and these timelines are so...
yeah, we can't cut to a scene of just Khaleesi flying for like a day
Yeah.
and then getting to the location. So we're gonna have it somehow. They just get there, you know.
They skip a lot of the travel parts of that show because
Because no one wants to see that. Everything is like always like. I mean, that's the same thing even in games. No one likes to travel. That's why fast travel exists.
Right.
And it's the same thing with television. No one wants. There's nothing fun about the traveling.
Right.
It's boring. It's just dead air. So like people are always like, we just gotta get them there. Don't worry. People won't ask questions. They just get there.
Right.
You know. Oh man. What else we talked about?
Just the way it's gonna advance, man. Like, even like esports. I had a couple of esports guys on here. I mean, it's to the point where it's filling arenas, man.
That's great.
And like drone flying, drone racing.
The drone racing looks awesome. I would love to get into something like that.
I was thinking about it. I was this close.
Yeah, I've seen
Look
that.
at us
I'm
as
like,
close
I don't
to
know
button.
anyone who does it, so I don't know where to even go for that. Like,
I went online and I found racing drones.
yeah, like I seen them, but like I wouldn't even know what to do with it.
I'd fly it around the block.
I guess until I hit someone by accident.
Basically,
yeah.
that's really what it's gonna come down to.
Yeah. The esports stuff is great though. I love that like games have transformed to that. Because, I mean, we're both around the same age. We remember when like, I mean, even still, but back then especially, games were just like, people were talked down about it. It was kind of like, oh, you're playing your video games. I remember I had this high school teacher. He had some sociology teacher. He was like, he would talk so negatively about playing games, and I was always like, I like playing games.
Right.
You know, they're fun.
Right.
I mean, he would be like, you know, you can do this. You can go climb a mountain, or you can stay home and play video games. He would say it like that, and I was like, maybe I want to stay home and play video games.
Dude, what's fun about climbing a mountain?
I mean, there's a general, and then I heard someone like, oh, you could read books. I'm like, well, it's the same thing.
Right.
You know, it's escape.
Right.
You know, it's you're doing something to kill time. You're doing something, any hobby.
Right.
You know, I hate when people like talk negatively about like video games because I'm like, I mean, essentially it's a hobby just like anything else.
Right.
You know, if like someone's like, oh, I play basketball every day. I'm like, well, you could be learning a good skill. You know, like why are you wasting all that time, you know, playing basketball?
Right. Right.
You know, or
Right.
someone I go to the gym. Oh, just wasting time when you can be doing something else,
Right.
getting in shape. You know, everything you do, like every type of hobby, it's just that. It's a hobby. It's something you want to do.
Right.
So I feel like it's getting a little bit more respect now. That the fact that people can actually make money doing it. I think that's when things get respect.
Yeah.
Is when like, oh, you can actually make an income doing
When it's
this.
profitable, all right.
Like funny, even sports. I didn't grow up watching sports because it was like outlawed in my house.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Still to this day, I really don't watch any major. I watch like UFC sometimes, and even that I don't watch as much as I used to. But like, I didn't grow up with any sports. I don't have any type of fandom of like any type of sports. I don't watch baseball. I don't watch
Right.
football or anything like that.
I don't either. So that's
Yeah, but it
But
wasn't.
I did it by choice. I mean, it's
But
just-
I seen like some of my family, people I know are just crazy. That's what they do. You know, they got to watch the Super Bowl. They all get together.
right.
Excuse me. I remember I was out like in this event where a bunch of friends were together, and some friends of mine were like, "We got to go," and everyone's like, "Where you going?" And they're like, "Oh, we got to watch the football game." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then
Right.
like, and we don't think it was that important, but like people, it's a serious
for them,
thing.
it's a serious thing.
It's a serious thing.
I used to make fun of it,
Yeah.
but like my friend Jamie is a big Jets fan, you know, and whoever else, and it's like, and they're nuts. They'll fight you. They will straight fight you.
No, like I know people like they wear their hats, they wear the jerseys, and they get like, you talk negatively about their team,
Right.
or you say like, oh, they'll ask you like, oh, where you from, and you say the state and whatever team that is,
Right.
which is always weird to me because I'm like, that just happens to be where you live, you know, like you don't actually know them personally, you know, I don't you don't know the team person, they're not your friends. I mean, maybe some people do,
Right.
but it's just depends where you live. Like if I move over to Jersey, does that mean I have to be loyal to Jersey's team now? Like,
Exactly.
You know, But no, it was outlawed, and that's an outlaw sounds extreme. But my father was very weird with sports. He had this thing, which I was linking to video games, where it was like, he's like, people shouldn't get paid to play games. So
Shouldn't.
yeah, he saw it as like just like something immoral almost, like why are these people getting paid so much to play baseball?
Yeah, to do what they like.
Yeah, so to him it was like he didn't want me watching any of it because he disagreed with it. It was like against his ethics. It was weird. Like he was just like, you shouldn't be getting paid. Players shouldn't be making all this money to go around and just play the game. And that was the weird thing. So he wouldn't let us watch anything at home. So I didn't grow up with any sports.
That's kind of, I don't know, man. That's not, you know. I mean, again, I'm not.
I don't agree with it. I
I'm
mean, I
not a
think it's-
sports fan. I think that's weird, though.
It is weird. It is weird. But that was like, but it's the same argument now with video games. It's like what you're making this money, you know, streaming yourself playing games. That's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense, you know. Like, and it's like people get paid, you know.
Like
to
the
do whatever.
video of the father going across the video games of the son on the lawnmower,
Oh yeah.
and the kids, I'm good at it, he said.
I get like
I kind of understand that kid, man.
but it's weird. Like I get when like people get obsessed with something, or maybe they're just not doing anything else.
Right.
You know, like I remember some story where like this couple let their infant die because they were just hooked playing Warcraft.
That's a little fucked.
That's like some crazy. That's some addiction level stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's different. You know, that's. I mean, I don't know. Video games, I guess, could do that about. I mean, I guess you could say that about anything. Like if someone was just like, you know, I gotta train. I go to the gym, and they just like stop paying attention to everything else in life. Then you would say that's a problem too.
Yeah.
You know, basically anything can become a problem if you make it a problem.
Listen, don't cause no problems. There won't be no problems.
Well, it's like what's the Twilight Zone episode with the guy with the book, and he gets stuck in the safe after the world ends.
And his glasses crack.
Yes, but the whole thing was his boss kept like getting on his case because he just kept sneaking away to read books. That's all he lived for. All he lived for was reading books.
Right.
And he's like, I just want to read books, and he wasn't doing his job. And the boss is like, what are you doing? And then finally the world ends, and he's like, oh, I could just read my books now. That's a problem. Yeah.
Fucking real problem, and it's a famous one. Yeah.
But I was saying, that's my point, is that you could do that with books just as easily as video games. You could just be like, I'm not going to pay attention to any of my other responsibilities in life.
Right.
I'm just going to sit here and just do this. That's when something becomes a problem.
Truth.
But I don't think video games by themselves are evil or cause that. That's some people just do things like that.
Agreed. But it's whatever makes you happy, whatever releases the morphine, man.
The morphine.
These
endorphins.
Yeah.
Like whatever releases the morphine. I just play video games, I just tap out. Just the morphine's released. Jeez.
There's a little,
Drooling with the controller.
there's a little dial on the side of my hand. It's like, what do we want today? Give daddy a dose. Oh,
Video games are good, man.
Like, honey, what are you doing? Hi, baby. Daddy just
playing.
Just took a dose.
Daddy's just playing some Tomb Raider. Just go away for 5 hours.
Come, let me play with your dial. She starts yelling at you. It's like, no, baby, come here.
Exactly.
Morphine. Oh, wow. No, people will kill themselves. Wow, that show just took a dark turn. I like that. Oh shit! The internet kicked us off, but it's all right.
Oh,
we're not stopping.
That's all right.
We're not stopping.
Bad internet.
Catch us tomorrow when we're going to be live today, as we are tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. we did it today, but tomorrow. What?
It works. Wait, you gotta shift this over.
There you go.
What's this? Wait, what was it?
No, not that one.
Not that one? Oh no. I gotta hit. Wait. There we go. I got it.
There it is. Oh, he's gonna play the theme music now. Let's do it. It's all right. Play the drums over it.
Lieutenant! Lieutenant, I'm coming!
Oh no, you can't stop it?
Lieutenant, I'm fucking coming!
Where's that from, by the way?
I don't remember, bro. I don't know where it was from, but I was like, this is it. This is what it starts with.
Oh no. How long does this go for now? You know, we feel like this is like dancing.
That's it. Fades out. I think it's like 35 seconds. Yeah. Listen, drums, man. Drums are a thing. But 808s. Whoa. That's an 808 right there.
There you go.
808. Boom, 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 boom.
Nice.
You could do so much with just that one. Here, let's see.
Oh, there you go.
It is. Just get lost in there for a minute.
Just like every time I hear that, I just gotta walk in the rain.
Just transform into
I need like a trench coat. Just gotta walk in the rain slowly. Just like look up every once in a while.
The small way.
It's like the
Drago.
that's like the plotting music where you're just like deep in thought. It's like looking around every time.
Anyway, so that was a scene from a movie of some sort.
That's great.
This is the fun episode. I'm so, like, you understand? I've been trying to get him to come here for a year, so I'm like relishing like a pig in shit. Yeah.
I'm bad. I'm like, I was telling you earlier, like
you're reclusive.
I get like anxiety, and people don't think that about me, but it's true. I've always had it. Like I was like crippling shyness. I have had crippling shyness my whole life. I'm better at it now, but it's still there.
That was one of the topics.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, it's really bad. So like, I enjoy performing. I enjoy doing creative stuff like that, but not like as myself. Like if you talk to me now, you're like, so tell me about you. I'm like, what do you want to know?
Right.
I just shut down. I'm like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm good, thanks.
Like my girlfriend I don't know what she was doing. She was asking me like these questions the other day, like for some book thing she had when she writes down stuff, and she was like, "Oh, like what makes you happy?" I'm just like, stuff. You know, like what makes you angry? Bad stuff. You know, it's like, what's your happiest memory? I don't know. Good times. You know, like I'm like, what don't you like? Bad times. You know, like
this Matthew McConaughey shit right there, bro.
Like, all right. Don't like any bad times. You know, like, but no, I was so bad with that. Like, I was like one of those kids where like, I'm still that guy. But like, I don't talk. I kind of like would just like, I don't really talk or until like I'm spoken to.
Right.
You know, I was kind of like very shy, sitting there, and that's why I learned magic. I was one of those guys who was like, I needed like an icebreaker, so I was like, let me get some card tricks.
And it was crazy because because I know him since we were kids. Yeah. And it's like, I was like, yo, this dude fucking outgoing as shit. He knows magic and all this shit. It's crazy.
Well, I found it. Like I said, I found like workarounds.
Right.
Because like, I like to like get people to like me or engage with me. Because I'm better once people start engaging with me, then I can talk. But I didn't know how to talk to people.
To start.
So like, I would just like, I learned tricks. So like, but I became that guy, which was good. Sometimes bad because like it would just be like, someone would say hi to me or start trying to talk. I'm like, would you like to see a trick? You know, like, and I just pull out some cards, dude. And they're like, exactly. They're like, you just walk around with cards? I'm like, I do right now. In fact, yes. Like, you know, it was cheesy sometimes. Yeah, I couldn't. Oh man, I'm so bad. Like, I remember, like, in junior high, there was a girl I had a crush on, and I didn't know how to talk to her. So one day, I'm walking in front of her, and I knew she was behind me, and I didn't know what to say. So I saw a pile of garbage bags in the street, and I just threw myself in them. I just jumped in the garbage bags.
What?
I just literally leaped and jumped into the garbage bags.
All right.
And so she came over. She's like, "Are you all right? Did you fall?" And I was like, no, yeah, I didn't see where I was going." And then we started talking.
Yes. Fucking yes. I will drink to that.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And we started talking. It worked, essentially.
That's awesome.
But how sad is that?
What do you mean? I'm gonna use that. That's not sad. That's fucking.
You get away with it when you're a kid.
This is some extreme shit right there, bro.
But that's horrible. Like, no, like it should be that I could just turn around and actually say, "Hey, how you doing?" and just talk to her. But I was like, I don't know what to do. Trash. And it was like, I threw myself into a pile of garbage.
Was it face first or back first?
Like I did like a elbow check. Like I just kind of went sideways into it.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like dove into it, like showed her stuff, like, and then she came over to check on me, and then we started talking.
And that's when the rope
Yeah, put the net on her. Gotcha.
just quietly. So
Failed for the old garbage trick, huh?
it's like quickly get dragged off.
But yeah, no, man. So like, yeah, I remember when I was young, I became like the weirdo, like as far as like the goofy kid.
Yeah.
I would just do something goofy. I would be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to talk to people, so I'm like, let me be silly. Hey,
Right.
here's a pencil. I'm gonna stick it in my ear.
Right.
And like I would just do something silly to kind of like get people to come talk to me, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're so weird,"
Right.
and I would be like, "Yeah, I'm a big weirdo." And then I would like talk to them. Then I got into magic, and I would just start doing magic. The magic seemed to work for a while.
I remember the magic for a while.
I did it a
That's
lot.
some pretty
for a
cool
while.
shit.
I got pretty good at it.
Yes,
but it was
you
just
did.
like I remember that was the way I wouldn't, if I was out somewhere and a friend would be like, "Hey, this is my friend." I would
Dude,
be
I
like,
got a deck of cards right there.
"Oh God, no, I'm not gonna do that."
He looked at it too. He said,
He's just like, maybe. No, like
It's
I'm out
two.
of practice.
Two of them.
Yeah, but I would just do like, but it was weird because like, usually you get introduced to someone, they'd be like, "Hey, my name's this." I'd be like, "Hey, you doing? Would you like to see some chicks?" Like, "Oh, that looks sorry." And I would just like, just do the tricks, and it was kind of weird. I became like that guy. I was the magic guy.
Right.
So like everyone would be like, "This is Apollo. He does great tricks," and I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, I do great tricks," and I would just like start doing the tricks.
Well, you set it up so that people would introduce you as
Exactly.
the
So that's what kind of worked on my behalf.
right.
They introduced me as that.
somebody who's socially awkward. It's like for myself. I'm socially awkward, and if somebody sets it up for me, like, "Oh, this is Boris. He does music and podcasting." I feel all right now.
No, it gives you something.
Like, I feel all right now.
It gives you something to talk about.
At least you know who I am now. I can stand quietly over here, but you know who I am. So
No, so it did work for a while, the magic or stuff.
right.
But it was always bad. Like I couldn't talk to people, man. It was like it's affected me, like where, like it affected me with women, like talking to people I like, even jobs. Sometimes I would get offered a job,
Right.
but I didn't know how to follow up with the person. They would be like, "Call me if you're interested," and I'll be like, "Okay," but I wouldn't know how to call them.
Right.
I would feel weird. I would be like, I don't know what to say, and I just wouldn't do it.
Right.
It was terrible. Even with women, there was like, I remember there was one time there was this bartender who like, started flirting with me, gave me her number. I never called her.
Right.
I'm like, and my friend's like, "Why don't you call her?" I'm like, "I don't know what to say to her." So I never called her.
Right.
And then a month later, we go to the same bar, and all of a sudden, an olive comes flying across the bar and hits me in the forehead. I'm like, "What the heck?" And it was the bartender. She was like, "Why'd you never call me?" And I realized, like, she's thinking like, "Wow, this guy's a dick."
Right.
Like, I gave him my number, and
And then he still came back to the same bar.
Call me, and I'm trying to explain to her. It's like, no, I'm really not a dick. I don't know what to even say to you.
Right.
So like, I was so afraid of engaging with you with a number or even texting you that I just didn't do it.
Right.
So like, I made up some bullshit excuse. I'm just like, yeah, I lost the number in the napkin. Sorry. So she's like, "Here, I'm gonna give you my number again."
What?
Gives me a number again. I don't call her again.
Did you come back to the same bar?
I never went back to the bar again. I was like, I can't go back to that bar now. I literally can't show my face there.
Wow.
And I'm thinking she's probably like, "Wow, this guy's a real asshole, man." Like wow.
after 2 attempts, but
I gave this guy my number twice, and he didn't even bother calling. She was cute. She was nice. I was just like,
she didn't understand. Listen, people have their shit.
it's so bad, man.
Well, you always had the reputation for finding the crazy girls who like wearing army pants.
Well, that was the thing. The crazy ones, I did get that reputation because they tend to be the ones that are more aggressive, and they would come to me. And they would be like, "Hey, I like you. Let's go out." And I'd be like, "Okay." I was like Forrest Gump. "Okay." I would just kind of be like, "Sure." And it made it easier on me. I just said yes.
Yep.
I'd be like, "Okay, that sounds great."
Yeah.
And then like, wow, it took all the anxiety off me. Now I don't have to like talk to you.
Right.
You just came to me and were like, I mean, the first time I saw a woman naked in high school, I remember, it was great. It was this girl. It was like my senior year in high school. She's like, "Hey, you want to walk me home?" I'm like, "Sure."
Right.
sure. And like, I'm thinking, like, yeah, I'm just going to walk her home. And we're talking. And
Little did you know.
you know. And that was the last time we saw him. You know, like, exactly. But no. So I'm like, I walk her home. And she's like, we get to her place, our apartment building. And she's like, oh, you want to come up? I'll make some sandwiches. Are you hungry? I'm like, sandwich sounds great. Sure. I go upstairs. And we go in our apartment. As soon as we go in our apartment, she just starts taking off her shirt. I'm like, I'm looking at her. I'm like, what's going on? And she starts taking off her shirt, takes off her bra. She's just topless there.
What?
Like, first boobies I've seen in person in real life.
Were they nice?
They were very nice. They were very nice. I'm just like,
shout out to that girl.
oh yeah, no, she was great. She was a sweetheart. And I was like, I'm looking at her. I'm like, so am I to understand there's no sandwiches? Kind of like, like she's literally naked in front of me. I still don't know what to do. I'm like, so no sandwiches or do you still make the sandwiches? I don't understand what's happening here.
Did you ask her?
No, I'm just like, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah.
And she starts coming over and kissing me and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing.
Okay.
Oh, okay. And I'm like, then I go along with it. But I mean,
That moment of like, shit.
the entire time from walking to her inviting me up, I didn't think any of that was happening. I was like, oh, I could sure use a sandwich.
Right.
That sounds great right now.
Just
That's how clueless I was.
oblivious to.
I was completely oblivious.
Yeah.
I mean, but like, thank God for her, because she was like aggressive and like was like, I'm gonna make out with this dude, and to the point where she's like, I'm naked now. Like, you're not getting where we're going with this? Like, I'm like, oh, okay, got it. And I mean, and that kept going on for years. You know.
Shout out to that girl one more time.
Oh yeah, she was great.
But it's true. I suffer from the same affliction, I guess. The crazy ones, like you said, that just it makes sense to me now. It's like, yeah, that's why I like them too. They'll call you like, yo, come pick me up. We're gonna go do stuff. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it makes it easier. It takes it all off you. You're just like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing.
Do
okay.
stuff today.
I mean, it always happened like that with me.
Yeah.
The problem was, not that every girl who's more aggressive like that and outgoing is bad, but it tended to be like that with me. That they tended to be the ones that were very aggressive. They would just come after me.
Right.
Also had other issues too, and so it kind of, that was the unfortunate part.
I guess, but
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if that kind of circumstance breeds that behavior.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, could
The
be.
videos this kid showed me when we were kids, it's like, oh look, this girl's wearing army pants and nothing,
Oh my god.
running around.
Yeah, that was bad.
Burn those tapes. It's another topic.
Yeah, burn those tapes.
Burn those tapes.
No, that was yeah, exactly. That was a similar boat. Super aggressive, ended up being like bipolar, serious bipolar disorder, into serious drugs like crack. I was like, oh,
When somebody's
okay.
on crack, it's a whole different, like,
Like
that's
violent, she
not,
was
that's not even a
violent.
human. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
human, but it's like an altered. I don't know. I don't even know how to, like, because it's very predictable.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's funny. Like one of my first serious girlfriends followed me into a sushi shop.
Yeah.
Like I was getting sushi, she followed me and she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Doing fine." She's like, "What are you doing?" And I kind of gave her an attitude almost. I'm like looking around, I'm like, "I'm buying sushi." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, am I bothering you?" I'm like, "No, I'm just like, who are you?" Kind
What
of
are you
thing.
doing?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I still wasn't getting that. Like, oh, she's trying to talk to me.
Mhm.
I'm just like, what's going on? What do I say to you? What do you mean? What am I doing in the sushi shop? I'm getting sushi. I'm like,
Fuck yeah.
and I almost chased her away.
Right,
but
right.
then we ended up going out for a little bit. But it was that, yeah, that would happen every time.
And I'm a witness to this because it happened. And we wound up doing that same shit, doing those two girls dirty that one night. Just.
Oh,
I still feel bad about that. Like it's
fine.
Because we literally did the same thing that you're talking about, but we did that shit.
yeah.
And
Like,
we were oblivious.
I think it like hit us later on. I'm like, oh, I think those women were like
trying to talk to us.
trying to talk
man.
to us, but we were just both like, for reference for the story, I think we were like in a restaurant. We were eating.
Give him a prologue of this.
We had got some food. We were going to go see a movie,
Right.
and we got some food and some drinks. And while we're sitting there, like these two women come up to us, and they're just like, "Hey, how are you guys doing?" Like, I guess they saw us at the bar together.
Yes.
They were together at the bar, so they're like, "Let's go talk to these guys."
Right.
And they start talking to us, and we're just like killing time before the movie. And I remember she's like, "Oh, so what are you eating?" We're like, you were like steak.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you're like, she's like, "That looks good. It is good." Like, yeah, I was like, "It is good." It was just both like
terrible.
yeah,
man.
and we don't know really what to say. It's like, yep, the
terrible.
food is actually good.
I think you offered her a bite and then said psych.
It was like, "Hey, you want a bite?" I mean, like, and then they were just
This
like,
is
"Oh, let's
pre-corona,
go."
y'all. Pre-corona.
Yeah, yeah. And then they're like, "So what are you guys doing now?" And we're like, "Oh, we're gonna go see a movie." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then we're like, looked at the time, we're like, "Oh, we should get going.
Yeah.
See ya." And they just like, I remember they looked
Wait,
at us
where
like,
are you going? Like,
yeah, they were like, "What? Are you leaving?" And they felt like they're probably thinking like, "Wow, these guys are assholes." And we're like, "We're not. We're just like, we were gonna go see a movie.
gonna go see the movie, bro.
We're not really understanding why you're talking to us, like what you're asking us about our food." And it's like, and then it hits us late. It's like, oh,
We should have been talking to those women. This is how antisocial people get
Yeah.
fucking like it. And it happened to two of us and two women. And like I said, he's a fucking chick magnet. He is.
that's the only.
I take him places, and the women just like just panties, just
I mean, they
you
say
know, like
allegedly. That's what people tell me, but I'm like oblivious to it.
Yeah.
People always say, "Oh, she liked you." I'm like, who liked me? Oh, like that girl. She was talking to me. I'm like, which one? I'm like, I don't even see it. I'm like, I'm so like shut down that I don't even see that someone's trying to talk to me sometimes,
Yeah.
or that they're flirting with me. They're trying to get me to talk to them, but I just don't talk back. So I'm just like, I have to make it like really hard on them where they have to be blatant. You know, like they have to be like, "Hey, here's my number. Come see me.
Right.
I want to talk to you." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Oh, you like me. Oh, you're interested in me.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
Right.
I wasn't understanding what you were doing." You know, like, I mean, even a few years ago it happened to me where like, I was the same thing. I was out with some friends at a bar, and then like, girl and friends like sitting there, and then she says something to me. She's like, "Oh, I'll get the bartender for you." I'm like, "It's okay. I know the bartender." And then she goes like, "Oh, you're very what did she say? She was like, "You're very intimidating." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "You didn't even thank me for trying to get the bartender for you." I'm like, "No, I know him. He was gonna come over to me right now." And she was looking at me like puzzles, like, I'm trying to talk to you," and I'm just like, I'm like, I'm not following. Yeah, I'm just like over my head. I'm like, and she was very pretty, and I'm like, what? I don't understand. Like, why is she asking me?
Right.
She didn't help me. She's not getting the bar. Well, she's talking about getting the bartender for me. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I know him. He's like a friend of mine. He's gonna come over right now. I'm like,
And this shit is true. I've seen this.
yeah. And then like I walked away, and then she comes back and follows me, and she's like, why'd you stop talking to me? I'm like, what? Oh, I was just out with my friends. I'm like, and then I remember like, oh, she wants to talk to me.
right.
Oh, okay. And then like we went outside, and she was like started making out with me, and I was like,
because she wanted to make a point. Bro.
yeah, but it was just like, it's sad. I don't know. Maybe it's worked for me a couple of times, but it's just one of those things where it's like idiot savant. Like I don't realize. She's probably like, oh, this guy, he's just like.
You should hone that like Assassin's Creed, bro.
Yeah, like she's thinking like, oh, this guy, he's just like, he thinks he's too cool.
Flip on her.
And maybe it works. Like he's just so cool. He's not even reacting to me trying to talk to him.
Right.
I'm just like,
you're hurting you're hurting their pride.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't even realize what I'm doing. I'm just like, it inadvertently worked for me a few times. I'm just there like a dope. I'm like, what is she talking about? Oh, like, okay. And I'm like walking away, and she's just like, why is this guy not talking to me? I just try to talk to him. So then like it made her like aggressively more like, I'm gonna go talk to you. Don't walk away from me.
Yeah, like
kind of thing.
What are you
Like
doing? Like,
but man, I'm clueless. It's bad. It's bad. It's so sad.
I think you should hone it like a weapon.
I have to know what I'm doing though. That's the thing is that the way it works is like I don't realize what's happening.
Well, actually, no, you can't hone it as a weapon now. You'd be dead before you pull the trigger.
That's true.
Listen, I just saw pictures of your girl. She's hot, man. Sorry, Tabby.
She probably is watching. No, she is hot. She's very hot.
Tabby, I'm sorry. I just saw pictures. So now live is always. Never mind. I'm gonna shut
Even
up
her,
now.
she's great.
I'm gonna shut up now.
Love her to death. Only reason she started talking to me is because we went to elementary school together.
Right.
She knew me from then.
You needed that level of know me.
Yeah, like literally, we went to elementary school together for like 5 years. Otherwise, she probably would have never talked to me. And I would have never talked to her because I would assume like she doesn't want to talk to me.
Right.
Like I always assume, even when a woman was talking to me, that she didn't want to talk to me. That's the weird psychological thing I'm playing
right
on
there with
myself.
you.
Like
that's kind of crazy because I feel the same way.
That's weird.
Seriously.
Like going back
That's
to the
that's crazy.
Yeah, the
That's
bartender
fucking
story. Like
crazy.
when she gave me her number and then gave me her number again, I was literally talking to myself, convincing myself, like she didn't really want to give me her number.
Right.
What the hell? I mean, that's idiotic. She blatantly gave me her number twice.
Yeah.
Of course she wanted me to have her number, but I was like, she was. I started making excuses like maybe she was drinking. I'm like, what? Like I was just thinking like she didn't really want to give me her number.
Right.
She doesn't want to talk to me. Like it was this weird imposter syndrome, like where I just don't think like, they don't really like me. That's not why she's talking to me. She wants something else, or like that's not what this person wants. They don't really want me for the job. When people like same thing, it goes for everything. Like when someone's offering me a job, they don't really want me for that. Like I would like somehow dismiss myself.
Well, it's I think it's to a degree self-deprecating.
Yeah,
but that could be hindering.
It was horribly hindering. Because like I wouldn't go for certain opportunities. Just because I'm like, they don't really want me. Like I would convince myself that like I wasn't good enough for that. Like they're not going to talk to me. They were just being polite. Like I would say things like that to myself. It's bad.
Have you changed since? Do you have a different outlook on it?
I've gotten better. It's still there, but I've gotten better. I'm more self-aware of it.
Right. Is it the acknowledgement of
I'm more like self-aware of it, so like I can kind of identify it in myself. Like I realize I think that's like even the magic, I stopped doing it as much just because I realized I was using it as a crutch. I was doing it less because I liked it, and I was doing it more just to like
be liked.
Exactly. Like let me do something to make people give me some attention
Accept
and talk to me
automatically.
Yeah. So I kind of just stopped doing it for that reason. Because I feel like it came off like weird. I'm like, but then the thing is, that's also probably me doing it again, because people were like, "Oh, well, how come you don't do magic anymore?" And I realized, oh, you genuinely liked seeing me do the tricks. I was convinced like, oh, they're just humoring me. Like they're like same thing again. They're being polite. They don't really want to see it. But then people were like, "How come you don't do the tricks anymore? You got to do the tricks. You were great."
Well, I mean,
like
I think anything you set your mind to, you personally, because you go above and beyond. Because I remember when you came out of the military, like this is a memory that'll stay with me forever. And it's like like you're pointing a gun at me, like what I mean? I'm like, sure, and it's like, all right, try to pull the trigger, Okay. By the time I even think of pulling the trigger, my hand is back here. I'm in this chicken wing thing. I was like, holy shit! Like,
I had some speed still. Then I'm slow now. I'm like, you try to pull me. Like,
dude, you were a state trooper. You know what? Tell me about that.
Well,
can I know about that? Because like you told me about that, and I was like, dude, that's totally awesome because you looked the part. But like,
I technically, I was sworn in. I didn't get to finish the academy because I had to leave for personal reasons to look after my stuff that was going on with my family.
Right.
But it was cool. It was cool. It was interesting.
Tell me about how that happened, because I know you for way too long not to know about this. I don't know about this, y'all. Like, you see this? I don't know about this. Like, I've heard about this, and I'm like, that's so fitting because, dude, put aviators on you and a fucking hat.
I look good in it. I was doing good. I got serious too.
Tell me.
I got put on that mask right away when we were like practice pulling.
I want the dirty details of that whole induction process and how
I became a whole super troopers. Like
how that happened. How did that happen? How did you hear? What happened?
I was just one of those things. To be honest, this is a sad part. It was kind of it was for a gal.
No shit.
Yeah. Well, I started dating someone, and she already had 2 young kids, and at the time I really I cared for her, And I was thinking like, well, I can't keep doing the job I'm doing. I need something that's going to support her and 2 kids. And I saw that they were taking applications for the state troopers, New York State Troopers, and I applied for it, and then I took the test. I aced the test. I got like 104. It was a crazy thing. Yeah, I got like extra points for being in the military, veteran, stuff like that. But I did really well. They called me up right away and started training, and like started going up to Albany, passed the physical, passed the fitness test, passed everything, and then they were like, okay, you're in the next class. I'm like, wow, okay. And it was tough too, because they're very like militarized there. It's paramilitary, the state troopers, but it was just like it was like boot camp all over again. This is the Marine Corps.
Does it come similar? Because there's actually an argument going on about that. That police training is too weak.
Depends on the department. Because I would argue that, at least in my experience in the state troopers, at least for New York, which I was a New York State Trooper, it was not. It was very tough. It was serious. You live there. It's just like it's barracks. You're bunked there. They wake you up in the morning. They wake you up at night. It's like drill instructors, and it's 6 months long, but it's not regular 6 months. Because you think of like 6 months in regular
with
time.
days off.
Yeah, like exactly, days off, and like you work 9 to 5 or something like that. No, this was like you're there. You're there
24/7 for 6 months. So that's like a year real time.
You're doing, like when we went to the shooting range, we were there for like 2 weeks. We were shooting thousands of rounds. Thousands. We would put like Band-Aids and tape on our fingertips because they would get so sore. They would tell you, like, wrap up your fingers because you would be pulling the trigger so many times, getting good at shooting and different scenarios and stuff like that. And they were very methodical, like very like strict, everything. They would like test you and everything. Test. So, I think it has to do with a lot with different departments. Like I think some departments are a little too lax. Like you probably just do a little bit of training, a little bit of physical stuff.
Right.
Now, this one was like the combat training there was like very serious, for months and hours a day, teaching you different maneuvers and stuff like that.
What was your favorite like maneuver? I guess.
Oh, well, I mean, just like it was not really favorite, but like, it was all interesting. I actually like the penal law stuff, like just learning the actual technical laws were very interesting.
Right.
And I love firing range. I love shooting. So I qualified with like a shotgun, 12 gauge, and then,
Well, if you know the
Glock.
penal code, man, why can't I get a job where I can't transport stuff across state lines? This shit irks me, man.
It was interesting. But that's pretty much why I did it. It was actually because I was trying to like essentially start a family. But then what happened was the relationship pretty much dissolved. She ended up not being such a great person, which is unfortunate. It was like one of those things where like it starts off and like the person's putting on the kind of facade,
The representative.
yeah, and I knew it was too good to be true, like, but she was hitting all the right notes. Like she was hitting like all like, I was like, man, this is amazing. Like she's just out of this world. She's like the perfect, like, she's perfect for me. She was just like so sweet. She wrote a children's book for me and her. She literally wrote a children's fantasy book, and it was like starring me and her, her and I, and like, and it was so sweet. And I was like, oh my god. And she was like, I love you, and blah blah this. I want to spend my rest of my life with you. You're the love of my life. And I'm like,
whoa.
And I was like, oh wow,
That's heavy.
Yeah, I was great. So I was like, okay, yeah. She got me essentially. Like I was like sold, and then it like got really bad. Like, she got very controlling and just like didn't want me speaking to any of my friends anymore, or like anyone I knew. And
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, man.
What do you think that is that makes somebody think like that?
It was, I don't know.
Just opinion based. Like, what would be your opinion on why?
I don't know if it's like an insecurity.
Right.
I mean, she was strange, but the thing was that she didn't think it was strange. I thought it was strange. Most people thought it was strange.
To her, it was normal.
To her, she was looking at me like, "What's wrong with you?"
Right.
I mean, just to give you an idea, like I took her to a friend of mine's a show, and his fiance was there, and he like performed, and I've known him for years, like a decade. And after the show, I was talking to her and him. He went off to get a drink, and I was talking to his fiance still, who's a friend of mine.
Right.
And then my girlfriend, she got really upset. She's like, why are you talking to her? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, he's not with her. I'm not following. I'm like, she's like, why does he let you talk to her when he's not around?
Right.
I'm like, what? I was just kind of like, what?
It baffles you when you hear it.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
And she's like, you shouldn't be talking to her unless he's
present.
I'm like, but they're my friends. It's fine. We all know each other. Like, you know, we spend Thanksgivings together. It's fine. And she's like, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. She's like, you should never be speaking to her unless he's with her. I don't know. And she goes like, I don't know why your friends, why he would allow you to do that. I'm like, I'm not gonna just like grab his. Like he walks away. He's like, gotcha, you're mine now. Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't understand what she was even saying. I'm like, what do you mean? And she started saying weird stuff. Then like same thing. Other friends were there too, and everyone just kind of would talk. And like she's like, you guys are weird. She's like, she goes, you're like a bunch of swingers or something. We're like, what? Because we talk. It was like it was so weird.
Swapping words is nasty, bro. Then this is full on pornography. What we're doing here.
Oh no, it's weird. So bizarre.
Fucking bad.
But like in her mind, this was like these were like her rules. She's like, she was looking at me like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why are you even talking to her? You know? And then like, oh man, it got rough. Like, and then when they actually got married, I brought her with me to the wedding, and his brother, who's also a good friend of mine, comes over with his girlfriend. They say hi to me, and we hug each other. We all hug each other, and then his girlfriend goes like, "Oh, I really like your cologne." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." That's it. They walk away. You know, we go on. We have a drink. My girlfriend's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You're not gonna say anything?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like,
"Thanks."
But I said,
like
I
said something.
I said, I didn't know what she was talking about. I'm like, "What do you mean? Say something." She's like, "Really? You're not gonna say anything?" I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. She's like, she just said that you smell good, and you didn't say anything to her. And I was like, what?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, she's like, she said she liked your cologne. I'm like, I'm wearing really good cologne. I'm like, I'm wearing really good cologne. You know, I'm like, and you know, or
smell was too personal for her.
Yeah, no, it was weird. And she was like, she has no business smelling you in front of me.
Damn, son, you had like a legit. I'll kill you, girl.
Yeah, no, it was like, and she got like hostile. She was like, you need to go say something to her. I'm like, what? I'm not gonna say something to her.
I would have asked her, what would you like for me to
Yeah, that's
tell
what
her?
I did. I'm like, it's a wedding.
Tell me exactly.
Everyone's having a good time here. We're all friends. What do you mean? What do you want me to say to her? And she's like, you should tell her that she shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, I'm not gonna say that to her. I'm not gonna start a fight at my friend's, like one of my best friend's weddings,
right? Because
like she complimented my cologne.
It's very awkward.
And she's like, well, you should say something to him then. I'm like, okay.
What?
I was like, well, okay, let's play this out. I'm like, so I was like, let's play this out. And I went and I started like being silly, and I was like, hey, buddy, do me a favor. Can you tell your girl not to smell me in front of my girlfriend? All right? You know, like, what business do you have complimenting my cologne? You know, it's like, I would look like an idiot. Imagine someone came up and said that to you.
Proper manners?
Yeah, you'd be
bro?
like, wait, what? He would look at me like, what the hell's wrong with you, Apollo? You're all right?
Like, I need to smell this cologne. It's causing controversy.
Yeah, but that's how she got. And she got vicious for it, and she wouldn't let it go. And for like weeks, a month later, we just kept fighting about it.
All right.
It was crazy. Like, I didn't understand it. But she would look at me like she didn't understand it. She didn't understand why I wasn't like starting a fight.
Yeah.
Because someone complimented. She took it as like this insult, like it was destroying her honor and stuff.
Right.
She's like, his girlfriend said you smell good. And I'm like, it wasn't like some weird smell. She didn't like rub her nose and me like, you know, like it was literally like in passing. She's like, oh, I like your cologne. Yeah. I'm like, oh, thanks. That was it. That was the entire like conversation.
But she zoomed in on that shit.
And then she walked away.
There's some people that spiral on things. I'm dating a girl now who spirals. And I tell her she spirals. She doesn't understand me. Her friends understand me. Her friends tell me, yeah, she gets kind of like, because I had a friend over there. We were riding motorcycles. This kid, I just met him because I started to go to like these bike meets. And, just expanding the circle a little bit.
Yeah.
And I met this kid, and rides a little sports bike. He's a nice kid, Pakistani kid. And my girl calls, and she's got a new place where they have a nice porch, like a covered porch where you could just sit.
Yeah.
And it's like so Michigan, Brooklyn. I love it. You sit on your front porch and like smoke cigarettes and whatever. And so I go over there and I tell the kid, I said, yo, come with me. I called them. I was like, listen, your friend is a single girl, right? She's like, yeah. I was like, I have a kid here for her. Yes or no? Are we going there together or am I coming here by myself? Oh, yeah, bring him, sure. I told the kid, so you want to go? There's a single girl there. Whatever. We get there. The whole night, everything's fine. The girl's talking to my friend. My girl's hanging out with me. And then the kid just has to go and say something. But he didn't even say anything wrong. Everyone understood what he said. He goes, in my country, there are people who speak like 42 different languages. Different dialects. And this and this. And I understand a word of here and there. I can survive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, and what she heard was, he knows 42 languages. Okay. And the spiral begins. And she's sitting there brooding. She's off to my left. The kid's over here. And the girl's talking to him here. And it's fine. We're having a great time. And I hear this. And she's like, bullshit, he knows 42 languages in Russian. I'm like, he never said that. And then my other friend who's sitting on the other side of her goes, He never did say that. I was like, he never said that. No, bullshit. You can't know 42 languages. My grandma knew 10 languages, and that's fucking crazy. I'm like, but nobody said anything about 42 languages.
It's like when you just get angry at something that doesn't even exist.
Right.
It's like
right. It's like, dude, where are you getting this from? Where is this energy coming from, man? The guy did not say that. He's not being hostile. He's telling a story. In fact, right now, he's not paying attention to you. He's talking to the girl over there. You know what I mean? It's just like, but some people spiral. I find myself spiraling when shit gets like bad. Yeah. And I almost think like it's a good thing because I'll sit there and I'll analyze every component of what could possibly go wrong. Yeah. But that's not good too because you set yourself up for shit going wrong. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. You'll tell yourself, yeah, I'm ready for it. But like really you're expecting it. So it's like you're going in with the expectation to lose and that's not good. And like I'm guilty of that a lot. But some people spiral.
It's bad. It's funny because like it would affect me in that sense where like with like the other thing I started thinking like, did she smell me weird? Like, like,
right? Do I smell weird? Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Was just like something
I didn't
like
even think about that.
Like, did she do something offensive when she said that I just didn't pick up on? That somehow my girlfriend at the time was like picking up on?
Right.
But I'm like, what? No.
Like, did she smell me and go ew?
Like, but that's not what she was saying. She was like, she has no business complimenting you. I'm like, but that's what people do. They're just being polite. People are being like, it's a wedding.
Like, are you upset that I'm being complimented? I'm with you.
Yeah. It was weird. It was very strange.
That's
very strange.
It's very counterintuitive to what my ex-wife taught me. She was like, Mike, because she's one thing she told me, and I'm like, God bless her for it. She's like, my job is to be your candy. I'm like, and yeah, literally is the first thing I said.
Wait,
was that
sweet or sour?
Right, that whole laugh is literally the first thing I did because it sounds the same way in Russian. And I was like, okay. She goes, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm like, obviously not, because like, look, and
it's like it's one of those things where you don't know what to say. It's like, I think I understand what
Yeah,
you're
you
saying.
know what I mean? If you
But
like,
what do you mean by it?
yeah. I thought that I understood up until right now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, no, my job is to make you look good at all times. I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? She goes, like, see, you don't notice a lot of things that were. I was like, okay. Like when my friends used to come over, she wouldn't talk. Like, not that she didn't know the language. She was just like, she goes, if you're talking to another man, I got to be careful not to say nothing because if he insults me, then you have to fight him.
That's crazy. So like,
And she was a shrink too. She's like, so I'm not going to engage. I'm just going to just be quiet so that, you know, if
that's weird though. That's like some cultural something. Or
Yeah,
like,
isn't it,
Or
though?
or like how previous relationships.
right.
You know, like
And to me, that was like, I was like, that's respect to a level of beyond. That's gangster respect that I'm not entirely used to, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's really neat that she would even like teach me that. And now, like, you know, the fucked up part is now I gotta look for that. Because yo, are you kidding me?
that's like some 300 Spartan thing. That he's
Yeah.
like, you insult my queen. Like, you know, like
No, you have to fight.
now I gotta kick you in a well. You know, like
Well, like theoretically, I understand what she's saying because I'll be more volatile. Her presence.
But also, I get that. But also, like, I don't think you would associate yourself with people who would be insulting to your wife.
Very true, because I think she meant it as like when I'm talking to a businessman.
Yeah.
When I'm talking to somebody I'm attempting to do business with,
Yes.
and I don't know them, okay. But she was applying it all around. Like to my friends, to acquaintances, to family. To me, that was very strange. Sorry, you know, if you're listening. To me, that's very strange. You still got to run it through Google Translate. It sucks, I know. Ha ha. But it was very strange that you had one voice with me and another voice with, like, my family. It was weird to me. I'm not saying she's a bad person. No. We're just psychoanalyzing.
It's the same thing. It's like
It's just psychoanalyzing. It's
like,
weird.
She's great. I wish all the best for her and everything
Yeah.
like that. I tried to remain friends with her and friendly afterwards and things like that. But it's like you could tell when like it's just different paths. Like she had a way of thinking, and it was completely not the way I thought
Right.
about things.
And there couldn't be a compromise.
No, I mean, the compromise was not something I was comfortable with,
Right.
which would be like her rule book. Her rule book was like, it would have changed me as a person. Like if I'm engaging, with my friends and I happen to talk to my friend's wife, I'm not going to wait for him to come back before I start talking to them again. If we're all
fucking
in a
rude.
social,
I think that's rude.
that's rude as heck. Like if he walks away, I'm like, sorry, I have to wait till he comes back. I really want to keep this conversation going, but he walked away. I can't talk to you now.
Oh, wow. That was almost a fucking...
They would look at me and be like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I mean, you imagine that, you know, if you
I
just
can't even imagine that. To me, that's like so awkward. You're creating an awkward situation.
yeah, but to me, also, I think that's backwards. To me, that's like treating your partner as property, which I never did. That's like almost like, you know, it's like like not comparing, but like say you have like a pet. It's like you don't pet my dog.
Right.
You don't talk to it unless I let you.
Right.
You know, like let you come.
right,
You know, like I mean, it was like weird thing with like. So she was like didn't understand why my friends would walk away and leave their wife to talk to me when they just went to get like a drink or get something to eat and then walk back. She was like, "That's crazy." Like I'm like, "What do you think I'm gonna do?" Like I don't, understand, you know, like I don't understand what you think is
What
gonna happen.
did she think was going to happen?
That's why I didn't understand either. I didn't understand that.
The only reason I ask is I've never dated a person like this before.
I never did either.
Because to me, I would have fun with it at that point. You know, I don't know how I'd, you know, like, just my inner asshole would come out and be like, what do you think I'm going to do, bro? Like, all right, come. Watch me talk to this person. Just don't say nothing. Let's see. What are we going to tell them? You know?
Yeah. And so the thing was, I'm comfortable and I'm very trusting as well.
Right.
I trust her. She's her own person. I would never tell her like you're not allowed to talk to someone.
Right. Don't
So
wear this.
She got mad at that too. That was the thing. She didn't like, and it was usually social functions like that, like the wedding and reception. So sometimes, you know, you're not with the person the whole time. I might be like, I'll be right back, and I go say hi and I chat with someone. She didn't like if I left her alone to talk to someone. She's like, you're supposed to like be here and like on me, being like, you don't let me talk to other guys. I'm like, but that's fine. I don't think anything's wrong. They're not going to do anything, and you're not going to do anything, right? Are you? Like, like if I walk away from you, you're going to start making out with them, or like what's going to happen? I don't understand. But she was just like, you're not supposed to.
I can't help it.
Exactly. And I come back, they're just making out. She's like, you left me alone. You know. Like,
It's on you.
yeah, exactly. This is not my fault. You walked away for a minute. You know.
Like I didn't know the rules of the game.
I was like, I'm just not understanding these rules.
Do you have friends that we could try this again with?
No.
Wow. I mean, just that's why they say like women and men are so different.
But she was unique. Because, I mean, I've dated other people and whatever issues was. That was something like I never encountered before. I had never encountered anything like that.
That was the T virus.
Yeah. Like, so I didn't know what that was. And, like, I mean, she was born and raised right here, too. Like, she's like a Brooklyn native. Like, I didn't understand, like, what was her circle of friends? Like, what was her family? Like, I didn't get where that came from.
Right.
I didn't understand where that extreme possession came from. Like.
Did she have brothers or sisters?
Yes.
Probably there.
Yeah.
Probably right there. You know what I mean?
That, to me, like that had to be from like bad experiences, though. That had to been like something where like
And
maybe
prolonged
she had
bad experiences.
yeah, like maybe she had a situation where a friend of hers like walked away and then their boyfriend started hitting on her or something like that. So she's like, "Oh, you never do that. You never talk to the person when the other person's not there."
Right.
Or something like that. And this just got planted in her head, and then she was like, this became her rules of life. Like, you don't do this.
Caution, content's hot.
Yeah. It was strange. And I remember I would like, we would argue about it, and we would try to like, and I would try to be like, what? I don't understand. Like, why you don't have to do this? It's fine. But it was like sacrilege. She was just like, no, you don't do this. And I was like, all right.
I mean, I guess everybody has a different set of standards, but like, the extreme ones are like, I'm all for certain extremes, but like, when there's a union, it's got to be for the reasons of mutual, like, something. There's got to be something there, like, one party gives another, you know what I mean? Like,
well, you got to get along.
yeah, you got
to be able to communicate.
You have to be, like, I always tell, nowadays, I tell people, like, look, you know, if a girl could do a podcast right here with me,
Yeah.
you know, or something around them parts, and we could have like a legitimate car, and like, yo, you guys will be my audience for when I test drive. I will put them on. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be terrible, you know. But
Yeah.
if you can manage to have a conversation and have fun with it, you know what I'm saying? If you understand the joke, because you know it's a big joke, but everything's a big test, I guess. Once you pass, you know, it is what it is. But it's tough because a lot of it involves actual feelings, and sometimes feelings can be misleading.
Yeah.
You know, you may think one way, and then they may not think that way at fucking all. And it's like, shit, but I was thinking this way.
That's where communication comes in.
Uh-huh.
Transparency is really good.
It is.
I found
isn't
that.
it?
That's one thing like I learned just getting older, and just it's good to just be transparent with people. You know, a lot of people think a lot of arguments I feel like spawn from like you should have known. I was like, why would I have known this? Like, you know, like, oh, you should have known. Like there's a lot of this like you should have known that this and that. I'm like, just tell me.
Right.
You know, just communicate. You know, like both ways.
Teach me.
You know, like something you don't like, then let me know. Or if there's something, you know, you do like, or this and that. You know, just like communication. If something's bothering you, cause I know, like, situations where, like, I used to do it too, where, like, something could be bothering me, and I just wouldn't say anything.
Right.
I just won't say it until eventually it boils up. And then you're like, and the person's like, well, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah,
And
you were tense for like a month. And it's
yeah,
like,
exactly. You're tense for like a month.
You're gonna say that shit.
And then you just tell them like, yeah, that was bothering me this whole time. It's like, just tell me. I wouldn't have kept doing it.
There was a spot on the cover to the bed. It was supposed to be in the left rear corner, where the feet are.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a spot. He's like, go to the bed in the morning. And I get yelled at later. I'm like, oh, something's been bottling up, huh?
It's like, you were in the spot.
Like, she's like, you didn't even put the spot where it belongs. The spot belongs on the left rear. I can't believe you didn't know that. Like, I told her, I was like, I didn't know there was a spot. Why is there a spot? Word to mother. Shout that shit out, bro. Like, let's start there.
Yeah.
Fucking, we could start right there if we really want to. If you're such, if you're so cleanly about it.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, like, what the fuck is bothering you? Because I know it's not the spot.
I mean, it is a spot.
It's something that I did that apparently is fucking circulated all the way down to where it hits the drain and it just... Mm-hmm. That's when it goes warp speed, bro.
Yeah.
And that... But that's when, that's like you said, communication is the key right there. Because you have to be able to talk that shit out.
No, it's that to me is the biggest thing. And like, man, it changes the world. Just good communication is like, oh, there we go, problem solved. Usually, like, but a lot of it's like that, like just like not communicating. You bottle up stuff. People the same thing, like, I don't know. That always leads to disaster. I feel like there's a lack of communication.
Talk to each other. Don't text. Call. Talk to each other. Because if you don't talk to each other, you just.
Well, that was one thing too. I remember we were like, I remember trying to make the relationship work, and then we got in an argument on the phone over something silly, and then it sounded like she hung up, and I kept trying to call back, no answer. Text, no answer. Next day, no answer. Went to her place, no answer. 2 weeks go by of this, no answer. And then eventually I just gave up. I'm like, wow, I guess we broke up.
Man.
Well, I guess she just doesn't want to talk to me anymore.
Right.
And like 3 weeks later, she like calls me. She's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Where the hell you been? I've been trying to reach you for like weeks. She's like, oh, I'm good. I'm like, and she's like, you want to come by later? I'm like, are we still a couple? She's like, yeah. I'm like, what? You haven't talked to me in like 3 weeks.
What?
You've been ignoring me. She's like, yeah, I was just mad at you. And I was like, man, you could have really explained that to me. I mean, I remember I was already like telling people, I'm like, I guess we broke up. I was already in my mind, like, I guess we're done. She doesn't want to talk to me.
Well, one thing I could chime in and say, I would have went over there.
I did. I didn't want to. Well, I tried the first time and she didn't answer, so I wasn't sure if she was home or maybe she just ignored me. I didn't want to be pestering, so I didn't want to be that guy who's like, Stella, knocking on the window. So I'm like,
dun, 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 dun.
I'm just like, okay. I tried to go over. I mean, we got phones now, so I was like, I'm texting you and I'm calling you. I'm not just gonna keep coming and pounding on the door or something like that.
True.
If you could talk, you want to talk to me, you can talk to me.
Well, if you went one time, that's enough.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, I guess she doesn't want to see me anymore. So I guess we broke up. And then she was just like totally like, no, we didn't break up. Like, we're a couple. I'm like, this is what you do? Like, you disappear for 3 weeks? And I'm like,
what did you do during these 3 weeks?
And she was just like, yeah, I was mad at you. And I was like, yeah, but I mean, damn. Like, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm like, and she was like she was looking at me like, that's what you do.
She pulled a G move on you.
Yeah, she's just like, when you're mad.
She pulled a G move on you, bro.
Yeah. So I was just like, yeah, it was just like, apparently, like, when she was just like, yeah, when I'm mad, I just stop talking to people. But no, we were still together. She's like, yeah, of course, duh. Why would you think we were broken up? I'm like, I don't know. I never, like, you were gone for like 3 weeks.
It's very confusing.
Like, I didn't even know what to do at that point anymore.
I would have moved on like you did.
Yeah.
This is the same thing I would have done. I've been like, all right, I guess. Shit, if you don't answer my phone calls and I come to your house, bro. No, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the universal. That's the universal like message for like, oh, we're done.
It's enough.
Like, you don't want to see me anymore.
I'm done.
So I was like, okay.
No way, I'm done.
No.
What?
That was bad. That was funny, but I was just like, what? I don't understand. Those are like those weird test things too. That was the same one in high school. The one who didn't make me the sandwich, but she got naked, but it didn't make me a sandwich. I was like really looking forward for that lunch. That's all right. I was so hungry. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make some sandwiches. You hungry?"
Yes.
I was like, "Yeah."
Fucking YES.
I was like, "Totally. I would love a sandwich." But no, she just wanted to make out instead.
She wanted you to eat the box.
Box sandwich.
Box sandwich, man.
No, but I remember she and like I said, I was clueless to things like that, especially back then in high school. She wrote me a letter, a handwritten letter.
Yeah.
Saying there was no cell phones then. I'm sure if it was cell phones, she would have texted me.
It would have been a text.
It would have been a text. But she actually wrote me a letter, gave it to me, and the letter was basically, I'm breaking up with you. I was like, oh, wow. I read it. I was like, I was bummed out. I was sad. I was like, because she was kind of like my first kind of girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, all right. Okay. So that's it. I just left it at that. And like a week later, she's like, sees me again. She goes, wow, you're an asshole. I'm like, what? And she's like, you didn't even try to like write back or call me. I'm like, you told me not to call you in the letter. You said that we wanted to break up and you didn't want me calling you.
Man.
She's like, yeah, but if you really cared about me, you would have called me and wrote me a letter back.
Negative. I disagree with that.
And I was just like, I did care about you.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you didn't call you.
I was just respecting your wishes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was like, no, you're an asshole. You never cared for me.
Oh.
Because if you cared for me, then like you would have done this.
All those are reasons she gave herself right there.
So I was like so confused, and I was like, this is one of those like, these growing moments in life. I was just kind of like, is that what you're supposed to do? I was like, I don't know.
Right.
I'm like, that's what I was supposed to do. So it was like a weird gauntlet. It was like a test.
Right.
You're supposed to read the letter and be like, you're not really breaking up with me. Like
you think you are.
Yeah, even though this says don't call me please.
I'm
gonna call you.
It really means call me please.
I'm gonna call you. And I was like, oh.
She wanted you to be a douchebag.
I was so confused. I was like, but then she got mad at me. She got mad at me and she started cursing me out. She's like, you never cared about me. You're an asshole. I'm like, you didn't even try to get me back. I was like, you were very clear in this letter.
Do not try to get me back.
You were like very clear in this letter.
Ew.
So I was okay.
I would have taken it the same way, just so you understand that. So he's not alone here, okay? So y'all are fucked up. Y'all are fucked up.
It was so weird, but I was like, that's when I was like very confused. I'm like, is this what? It's funny, like, and I blamed that. You know what I blamed it on? Rom-coms. All rom-coms.
Oh.
That's what I blame it on.
So you directly blame Jennifer Aniston for half the world's problems.
Well, relationship problems. Yeah. Because I feel like it put this unrealistic notion in people's heads. Like, you see this where, like, like the person just keeps on going. Like, you watch The Notebook or something like that, and like the woman, she be with the guy, and the guy just relentlessly writes her every day. He's like, I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna get you back, and he storms in the wedding. He's like, you know, he's like,
does anyone have any objection to this union? I, sir, have an objection.
I've always like every wedding I've ever gone to, I've always wanted that secret.
Yo, for real, because like that's some real
Does
shit.
anyone have any objection? I do. She belongs with me, you know.
That's a very outdated term that they should take out of the marriage vows.
Like it's just like,
when was that?
I don't like her,
dude. When
you
was
could do
that?
better.
Yeah, when was that relevant, dude? Tell me when that shit could really existed. You know what I'm saying? Like some old ass fucking castle and shit. Does anyone have objection? I have objection, and I challenge you to a duel for her honor.
Exactly.
And the girl's like, I'm smitten. Like, fuck, shit. That's all it took, huh? Thank God we didn't get married. Shit. Now I gotta pistol fight this guy. The fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But it's terrible.
Like, thanks, baby. What a great wedding day.
Yeah, but I think I think that, you know, people watch these things, these movies and stories growing up, and like they feel like that's what
it's
so like
supposed to
apparently
be.
she didn't want to actually break up with me. She was just, I don't know what the letter was for, but this was like the test. It was supposed to be like the litmus test. It was supposed to be that I was going to be like, no, I love you too much. You know, like we're supposed to be together, and then she'll be like, oh, okay.
And what would have happened if you would have done that? You would have been a controlling asshole.
Well, then I felt like I didn't want to.
That's how you would have acted.
I didn't want to be bothersome.
Right?
I was
and
just
then
like,
she would have been like, good. At least he's capable of being a controlling asshole.
Yeah, like, I was just being respectful. I'm like, I'm this shy kid. I'm being respectful. She's like, oh, she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. Okay, well, I feel bad.
Moving right
but
along.
I'm just gonna like, I'll leave her alone. You know,
life goes on.
I don't want to bother her.
Right.
And apparently, that's not what she wanted.
Apparently, that bothered her even more.
It bothered her even more. Because it didn't go through the storyline structure.
Right.
The storyline is supposed to be that I was going to come in there and be like...
a knight in shining armor, dude.
You know, I was going to be in the rain outside her place and be like, I love you. You know, like...
Right.
Like, you know?
Yo, my girl's friend told me, like, she was really drunk to where even this one was telling me ignore her. I'm like, no, this is fun. I'm going to abuse her. Yeah. And she's like, you need to do something romantic for her. Do something romantic. And this one here, she'll fight you. Like, it's just, you know, fist fighting fucking type of female. So I was like, I turned to her and I was like, did you hear this bullshit? Your girlfriend here is telling me to be romantic. Am I not romantic? She goes, don't pay attention to her. She's
like, I'm romantic. I gave you chocolate.
Like, I came here. Like, you know what I mean? You know, but she's like, yo, don't pay attention to her. She's way fucked up. Apparently, that's what she was missing in her life at that moment. And I think that she was projecting a little bit. You know, but like, I feel bad, but I don't, because it's like, romanticism has to be earned.
What's weird is, like I said, I feel like it's definitely like, it's like stories influencing these things, these movies. Like even my mom, God bless her, man, she's gonna like be alone forever. Like I feel bad, I feel terrible, but she pushes every guy that she's ever been with. She sends them running for the hills. She pushes them away. She'll just chip away at them, just arguing and just being mean and insults. And one guy I remember proposed to her when I was a teenager. He was a nice guy, and she just like made his life hell. She would like throw things at him and curse him out, and eventually he left. He called off the engagement, and I remember her crying and being upset. I was trying to console her, and she's like, if he really loved me, he would have stayed.
Oof.
And I was like, one of those things like, Mom, man, no, in so many ways. Like,
right.
You know, he wasn't going to stay. Like,
would you? You know?
Like, yeah. But she was like, if he really did love me, he would fight for me. He would stay.
Why do you need them to fight for you?
Yeah, he would
like, we have to fight somebody for you? Are we
it was
back
weird.
in the Middle Ages,
like,
bro?
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's setting up the gauntlet. She was like, he should, if he really truly did love me, he would pit up with all the abuse I was giving him.
Right. Because apparently there was a predetermined amount.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, you should put that up front.
Right. There's 2 months of your life that are going to be very bad.
No, they're treated like boot camp. It's like
Right,
Hell Week. There's going to be
right.
Hell Week around 3 months in.
Right.
If you pass Hell Week, we're good to go. Treat it like the Navy SEALs at least. At least they know then, like, this is going to end. I just got to put through it.
Just go through it.
But they don't know that. They're like, oh, wow, we've been together now like 6 months, and it's been 6 months of
And all
hell.
of a sudden, this shit turns on.
And then I leave, and then it's like, oh, you were this close to being happy. You made it one more day. It would have been real love.
Do you really mean that this shit would have all turned off?
Yeah.
Like, no, you're lying to me.
You were just there. You were like a foot away from the finish line.
Come
I
on,
guess
son. Stay in there.
It's like Navy SEALs, they go and hit the bell. It's like, why'd you hit the bell? We were about to, you were like, you were this close to the finish line.
Is that what they used to tell them?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, the Navy SEALs, I know, like, in Hell Week, if they quit, they go and ring the bell.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just weird. That mentality is bad. And I do blame rom-coms. I feel like it's put this
Stigma on
this
what it
false
should be.
fantasy of, like, real life.
Yeah. A skin of what it should be. A template. A template of what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
When there should be no template.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
There is no template.
Wow,
There's
that's
no
the most
template.
intelligent shit that came out. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, phone. Yes.
No, it's true. That's exactly right. There is no template.
There is no template.
Relationships is just it's something you work at, and you just like you figure each other out, and you got to get along. You communicate, and you should,
If you're lucky, you find the one with the same interests as you, and maybe just slightly as psychotic as you, and then you're gonna be okay.
And it's a team. It's
Right.
about working together.
Right.
Doing something. It's not like I'm just gonna keep doing this to the person, and if they like me, they'll just stay around. Like if they're too stupid to leave, then they're a keeper.
Yo, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Don't just stay, bro, because that's what we're gonna think. But shit. Then my wife was right the whole time.
There you go.
She's just like, nah, man. I'm not staying for this shit. I'm not gonna be a keeper. Yo,
That's horrible.
I know it is, but it is comedy at the end of the day.
That's funny.
You're
You're like, you're leaving. We were so close. So close.
like there's $10 million in the bank. You know what I mean? This close.
That's so funny. Like, it was just funny. That reminds me, like, a good friend of mine, she just, like, split with her boyfriend for a while, and he was a terrible guy. So I'm glad she left him. But when she left him, he ended up, like, texting her being like, I was this close to taking you back.
Oh, shit.
And we cracked up about it. It was like, what? Like,
Wow.
like, I was this close. I was going to take you back, but now I'm not.
My man's got some issues.
Yeah, it was just like, she was gone, man. Like, there was no taking back. She didn't want to be with you.
You lost her already.
She was like running from the hills. She's running from the hills. He's like, I was going to take you back, but now I'm not.
Our ego gets the best of us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's narcissism right there.
And his just runs his whole life.
Yeah. That was right.
But again, everyone's different, man. I think you shouldn't bullshit yourself in that situation. That's what I've learned and taken away from all these fun lessons for these past couple of years. Just be honest. And I was like, oh shit, it's actually easier than I thought. Like you say, the transparency now. I'm like, I'm a mechanic from Brooklyn that has a podcast. It's over now. Thank you. You know what I mean? So it's like, now I have nothing to really. What else do you want to know? Like, this about covers it.
Yeah.
Oh, I live alone and have no kids. Get what I mean?
It is what it is.
And I do like cats. Not all the time, but sometimes I like cats. Infomercial enough for you?
It's like, like walks by the beach too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motorcycle rides.
Like motorcycle
Right
rides.
after the rain.
He's good. Have you ever tried online dating ever in your life?
Yes.
How'd that go?
it's it's a fucking scam, all of it.
I've
You
I
can
couldn't do it. Yeah, but go ahead.
you can catfish people on there.
Well, yeah, that's what a lot of people do.
Right. I don't. Because I figure, like, all right, let me stay with this transparency routine. And it just these sites are designed to scam people that honestly want to meet somebody, which is fucking crazy. Because if you catfish, you're gonna catch somebody, bro. But if you go into the app via its design,
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is,
you're never gonna win.
Yeah, some people treat it as like a role playing game almost.
Right,
So it's like if I, and they try to like, if I say this and say this, I'll get the person, even though it's not true.
Right.
It's like it's like catching Pokemon or something like that.
Right. And those are the ones that win on these sites.
Yeah.
And
It's superficial.
like knowing this, I can't do it. Because I understand that there's a certain percentage that I might catch the right idiot. But do I really want to go through that? No, because then I'd have to be a liar for a while. Like,
Well, that's the thing too, is you can. That's what dating in general has always been like weird like that to me. But like, you almost. It's fake at first. People put their dating personas on, and then that's when I always tell people like, no, don't fall for the dating persona. You get to know the person once you're around them more.
right.
And that's when like, oh, this is you. This is the real you. But it's this game we all play because if you're too real at first, it'll push people
Scares
away,
them, yep.
scares them away. But that's being honest.
Right.
So that's why, like you said, the game encourages cheating. Essentially, you try to make yourself look a certain way to wrangle them in.
Well,
And,
people
like-
straight up use other people's pictures.
Yeah.
I've been straight catfished.
Yeah.
Woof. Woof.
How bad?
Bad. Fucking bad. To where, like, I don't know how many episodes y'all have seen, but I'm not much of a fucking looker, okay? And when I could say...
Oh, so you're a handsome fellow.
Well, thank you.
Let's touch beards. Come on.
Hold on. Which camera? Let's use the other camera. It's still a virgin tonight.
She's like,
Yo, listen, don't start a new fucking trend, bro. Like, we used to give daps, bro. Nah, now we just rub the beard like this.
yeah, like Avatar when they heard their ponytails unite, go wrap together.
Yo, that's where the Wi-Fi came from. Be thankful, bro.
Oh man. So yeah, I want to hear a bad catfishing story.
Yo, can't say her name.
No names. Just like catfish one.
Catfish one. Yo, -1 or /1. The pictures were just fairly exquisite Latin girl.
Okay.
And I'm a sucker for a fat ass and a small waist. Okay. Everything else is negotiable. Like, but those things.
It's like I have standards, damn it.
You know what I'm saying? I'll just be real with y'all. Visually, if there's a fat ass and small hips and you got that curb going up there, that's it. When you turn around, it's like we could deal with it. We could fucking deal with it.
It's like we can always dim the
It's
lights.
just like the shit we could deal with and the shit we can't deal with.
Right.
Like those two things are, And, the pictures, they showed all that, and I was like, well, fucking happy day. Okay, maybe this shit does work. Maybe I can salvage all of this after all. And sure enough, she starts talking. It's a whole other thing. It's like messages back and forth, and you already know if you've been involved what a message that doesn't sound real sound like. And I'm like, oh shit, this is real. Okay, interesting. I'm very excited now. This is good. Arranged to meet somewhere. Was at a bar or somewhere where she knew. I'm like, it's fine. That's great. I pull up. looking my Sunday's best, you know, and sitting in the car, and I'm going, what do I do if this is totally not what it is? What do I do? And like my first thought, pull off, you know. And I'm laughing to myself about it. And here pulls up a car. And I'm like, okay, sana kuliti de rana, here we go. The suspension went when she got up. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, was the first thing I thought. It wasn't even pull off anymore, because now I'm concerned about the person's feelings. I shouldn't be. Them pictures was not of her.
Just straight up lie.
Straight up lie. And I was like, I shouldn't be thinking this. But you know what? I'm already here, and this bar looks cool. All right. Cool.
That's when you need like a Batman smoke bomb. Like,
in my case, it's first gear. Listen,
Exactly.
traction control off. I'll make some smoke, bro. Can you imagine it being that bad that somebody peels rubber in front of you just to escape? It wasn't that bad, mind you. I'll give her that. It wasn't like El Terrible, but it wasn't something I was into. So now we're already at a disconnect before we start. So I can't lie like that. I don't want to fuck you. Like,
it's already setting it off. It's like, well,
I'm
this is not
sorry.
going to go
I'm sorry. Like, my first thoughts are, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I can't. You can even try and nothing will happen. That's the problem. It's not, it's not you. It's me. I can't. Won't. It just, So we had some drinks. We talked about some shit. When we went to like a park, we walked around, we talked about some more shit, and then I think we got some beers at a store, we drank some more, she's trying to like, it's not happening, man, nice to meet you, and then whatever, and then kind of left it at that. She tried texting a couple of times, we're like, she's not going to answer you, Mo, I don't exist anymore, Mo, I can't, so it was disappointing in a way, but I felt bad for her, too. Mm-hmm. That it just didn't work.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Like, I don't like having the upper hand like that. That's not, it's like, oh, there's nothing, like, there's nothing I could do for you if I wanted to. Like, that's where we're at, and I feel bad.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can get drunk and eat your pussy. That's about as far as we can go. Like, I can't. It won't,
That's funny.
Sorry.
I mean, I couldn't. You went further than me even with online dating. Like, I tried. What's the popular one?
I don't even know, man. There's that. Tinder.
I remember I had tried that, and I didn't even know what to do with it. I remember I made a profile, and then one gal replies back, says hello.
Right.
I write hello back, and then I erased my profile. Because, once again, the shyness was like, I don't know what to say to you. I'm not good at the online dating because I don't know, unless I'm talking to a person, I don't know what to say.
Right.
I'm just kind of like, I get that anxiety thing where I'm just like, oh, what do I say? I'm like, so she said hello. I said hello back.
Right.
And then I was like, I guess we're done here. Or like, I end up just erasing my profile and I never use it again.
We're live again.
Hey, look at that.
Well, see, how cool is that?
Like,
welcome back, internet. Now that I could turn everything back on again. Whoa. We could see ourselves.
that's funny. Yeah.
Wait, that's not it.
Yeah.
I think YouTube said fuck out of here. Not happening, bro.
But
wait,
no.
is it?
Is it?
No, not happening.
Got a ghost chair.
Well, Facebook is back, which is crazy. Like, that's why I'm surprised YouTube isn't back yet. Oh, ooh. Hey, now. We're back now. See, I'm looking up.
Look at that.
Bam.
Got a little lag on me.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
Well, that's how we could tell. Watch this. Ready?
There you go.
Ready? Look. There it goes. There's the laugh. Well, welcome back and talk to us, man. Somebody type some shit. We want to talk to y'all.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
Tell us about how you got catfished.
Yo, for real, worst catfishing episodes off of online dating. Somebody tell us.
So yeah, I never did the Tinder thing. I literally, that's as far as I got. I said hello. I literally typed hello, and then I was like, this is weird. I don't know what to say. And I just erased it.
Because there's nothing to say.
Yeah. I'm not good at that. Like I said, I got that shyness thing. So I'm like, I didn't know what to do.
Well, in most profiles, they'll write some shit like, if you say just hi or hello, we're not even going to match. I'm like, what the fuck do you expect me to say?
I don't know what to do.
Like, do you expect me to say, you know, your hair is like golden? I can't even finish
That's the
that
thing.
line.
I'm bad at that kind of stuff because I'm like, I don't know anything about you, so I don't want to go hang out with you.
Right.
Unless we've actually talked or something like
Exactly.
that. So I'm that. Like, I don't know what to do.
Like
said
my
hello. I don't
pictures,
know.
man. You just have to like the pictures.
I tried. The one time I did go on a date from online dating is way back when. It was like the first one. I did Match.com.
Okay.
And I set up a whole profile there, and I actually started talking to someone. And she ended up being very sweet. It was funny though. She didn't really catfish me. Her pictures were her. She wasn't completely honest, but it was fine. It wasn't a big deal. But when we go on the date, we started talking on the phone before the date, and we had a date planned for like the next day. And then she said something to me. She's talking to me, and she was driving, and she goes like, hold on. I'm like, oh, what's going on? She's like, the gas station attendant's asking me how I lost my arm. I was like, what? And she's like, oh yeah, I only have one arm. I was like, really? And it's fine, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. It was just that it was kind of shocking. She didn't say it to me, and all her pictures were like kind of from like chest up, and it didn't show that, which is fine.
Right.
I didn't judge her in that, but it was just kind of weird. I was like, oh. And she was just like
you figured out something.
Yeah, it was just weird. I was like, oh, okay. And she ended up having one arm. But I was like, all right, whatever. That's cool.
Right.
And we went on the date, and the date was horrible. Absolutely horrible. First, she did the thing where, like, you know, she brought a friend. That's fine. Wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. Mm-hmm. So she brought, like, his friend with her. And once, like, the friend approved me, she left. And, you know, she was like, okay, he's not a weirdo. He's not crazy. And then she left. And then it was just us two. But when the friend left, she didn't say a word. She just, the whole time, head down, looking down. And we're at a bar, and I'm like, would you like a drink?
Yeah.
And she's just like, I was like, what? She was like making these little like squeak sounds. Like,
what?
And I'm like, what was that? She's like, I don't know, okay. I'm like, you don't have to have a drink. Do you want? I'm gonna have a beer. Do you want me to get you a beer? And she was like, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get you a beer. And
that's awkward.
I get her a beer, and I could tell she was just being like super shy, even worse than me. Like, I was shy, but like it was already established that this was a date. We had talked prior, so I'm a little bit more loose. Once I start talking to a person, and I kind of open up. It's the initial talking for me. But that we already kind of broken the ice essentially. So I didn't get why she was being so weird with me. She was being so weird. And she was just like, I'm like, okay. So we're sitting there, and it's just like silence. Just us, like, it's not even eye contact. She's just like looking down, and I'm just like,
woof.
So you okay? And she's like, she was just like shrug her shoulders and make this little mouse sound. And I remember like, oh, do you want to leave? You want to take a walk? And she's like, I'm like, okay.
What the fuck?
All right. And like we start walking, and then like I remember we walked by like a movie theater, and like she like started looking at one of the posters, like, do you want to see the movie? She's like, I'm like, okay, we can go see the movie. And we like sit in the movie. We don't say anything to each other. We just watch a movie. And then it was late at that point, and she like lived further away. So I take her. She wanted to go to the train. I think it was a Jersey line, whatever. Like I walk over there, and then I'm saying bye to her. I'm like, oh well, it was nice, meeting you finally. Everything, have a great night. Call me if you want. We're at the turnstile. She doesn't go in. She's just standing there like. And I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, I'm like, did you not want to leave? And she's like, no. I'm like, well, why did we come all the way here then?
That's some strange
shit. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, we can keep hanging out.
Right.
So, and I take her like, at this time I worked in like this boatyard, and like I take her to like just hang out there, and we go get like another drink, and she's just quiet the whole time, and I'm like, I ran into a friend of mine there, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. She won't leave. She didn't want to leave, and I'm not just gonna leave her.
Right.
It's like at this point, it's like late at night. It's like 2 a.m. or something like that.
Right.
And she's just like, I'm like, I don't know what to do with her.
Right.
And she's just standing there, and I'm like, not talking, not saying a word. And at one point, it starts raining, and she goes outside, and she's standing in the rain, and she's getting soaked. I'm just looking at her. I'm like, I don't know what she's doing. And yeah. And so I walk out there, and then she like looks up at me, and like this kind of like wounded animal thing, like, and I'm like, I saw like my mind, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, maybe I should just kiss her.
Right. It sounds right.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm just gonna kiss her. So I lean in to kiss her. She starts kissing me, and we just start kissing. I'm like, okay, at least we're doing something.
Right.
This is good now.
Right.
I'm like, okay,
there's a connection.
There's some kind of connection here. This is not awkward anymore. I'm like, okay, we're kissing. That was like became our common language.
Right.
At this point, she's like kissing me. I'm like, okay, we're kissing. And she seemed to enjoy that. She was just like, she just seemed happy then, and we were like kissing. And then at that point, it was like, I think it went all the way up to like 5 a.m. And I was tired as hell. I wanted to go home.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, so like, let me put you in a cab. And I put her in a cab. And I'm like, wow, that was a bad date. I'm thinking to myself, like, man, that must be terrible. Like, this was an awkward date and really bad. I didn't think I was going to even hear from her again. And next day, she's just like, that was the most amazing date ever. I'm like, what? I was like, what? Really?
What?
She's like, I had such a great time with you.
No.
I'm like, yeah? Like, you had fun? And she was like, yeah, I had such a great time. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, wow. I didn't get that at all. And so I'm like, okay, this is great. And then she's like, and this is when it gets weird though. So like the day after that, it happened to be her birthday apparently. Yeah, she calls me and she's just saying like a lot of like really sexual stuff. She's like, oh, I miss you. I want you to get over here. And I'm like, oh, okay. No. And she's like, I'm in this hotel in Jersey. But at the time I was in Queens. I was like, it happened to be my friend's birthday party and I was over there. And so I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm going to make it out to Jersey right now.
Right.
But let's hang out tomorrow and we could do something. Right. And she was like, she like texted me back. She's like, wait, you're not coming to see me on my birthday? I'm like, oh, no, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it all the way to Jersey right now.
Right.
And, it's late. I was drinking with my friends. It was his birthday. So I'm like, I think I'm just going to end up passing out here in his place.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. I didn't think there was any harm. The next morning, I'm in the diner with my friend. I text her. I'm like, hey, so sorry I couldn't see you yesterday, but let's get together today and let's, we could do something fun.
Right.
She writes back like a paragraph of profanity. Paragraph just like, you fucking piece of shit, you motherfucker. Whoa. I'm not playing fucking games with you. How dare you fucking not come see me on my fucking birthday and F-bomb, F this, F this, F you, F this. Right. I was like blown away. I was like, what happened to the little... Right. What happened to that girl? Right. And like she just got vicious because I didn't make it out to her birthday thing in Jersey. And I was like, as I wrote back, I didn't know what to say. I showed my friend. He's like, holy cow. I'm like, I don't even know how to respond to this. I wrote back. I'm like, whoa, what is this coming from?
Smiley
I'm like,
face.
I'm sorry I couldn't make it last. I was too far away.
Right.
I wasn't going to be able to make it there. Meanwhile, like I didn't have a car, so I would have, at the time, like I would have
Yeah.
literally been getting there either cab or like, and it was like middle of the night. And I'm just like, no, I was like, let's just hang out today. And she just starts flipping out at me, and she's just like, I'm not playing these damn games with you. And that was it. Anyway, sorry, long story, but it was like basically that was my one time doing an online date. She was super shy and awkward, and then became immediately possessive and was like, how dare you not show up to my birthday last minute in a different state.
Maybe she was wanting to find a reason.
I don't know. She seemed like a really sweet.
She
I
gave
talked
you
to her a
like
few times.
Maybe she gave you an impossible thing.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that was the same thing. She wanted me to like. There was like a test.
Yeah.
She wanted me to be like, drop what I was doing.
Yeah, and go over there.
And go over to Jersey to see her.
Right.
And I failed it.
Right.
And I failed that test, so she just like went off on me.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so I guess we're done here, right? And it was just one of those like, I guess no more dates, no, okay. And that was it. Erased my message, erased my profile. I was like, I'm done. I tried it. I tried online dating. It didn't work out.
Listen,
Like.
Well, you're good now, but I would say, listen, you're gonna find, you're gonna find a couple of those, I'm sure.
But it's just funny. Like I just never had. I just like after that I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't know. I didn't start off strong.
Right.
It's like someone going like going in the ocean for the first time and get bit by a shark.
Mm-hmm.
Like ocean's not for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay out of that
just good.
motherfucker.
So it's just not for me. So it's like that was my first experience with online dating. I'm like, it's not for me. I just never did it. Never did it again.
Well, luckily you didn't have to.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Because some of us still have active profiles.
Like, yeah.
But and it's shit. It's all shit.
It's so funny. I know some people who swear by it. I've had friends that are like, "Oh, it's great." They meet people. I know some people who've gone into long-term relationships.
You gotta have a certain look, man. You gotta look. You gotta look hot. If you look hot and tasty, that's what's gonna happen. That's it. It's just you could beat around the bush all you want, man. You either gotta have money or pictures of a six-pack.
I guess that's the thing too. Like I'm not good with awkwardness, like weirdness.
I'm not either.
So like that was the thing. It's like I can't do the weirdness. So it's like I'm already weird on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So like if someone else
puts me in a weird spot.
Puts me in a weird spot. I just can't handle it. Like I run. Call me coward, but like I'm just like I'm good. I'm just running. I'm leaving this situation.
I got put in a spot the other day that like I haven't recovered from yet. It was the girl called me over and it was her roommate's birthday. Right. Mm-hmm. Same porch we all hang out on. It's really nice, really cool kid. He's married. He's got a wife. They all live over there. And she tells me I could have sworn I heard it was another friend of that group whose birthday it was. So the whole time I'm thinking it's this other person. Mm-hmm. I get there. They're all on the porch. There's food out. There's liquor out. There's friends there. Friends that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know it's this boy's birthday. I come up, I say hi, like, oblivious and shit. I was like, where's your girl? Oh, she's inside. I go in and I was like, so where's the other kid? Where's the birthday boy? She's like, what? I told you it was, it was this guy. I was like, and she realized what happened. She's like, you didn't even. I was like, I didn't know him. Mm-hmm. And so, and he's sitting out there with friends, you understand? And I'm like, fuck, I look like the biggest dick right now. Like the biggest dick. So, yeah. Sometimes we're put into situations where we just can't climb out of.
There's always like those situations. I'm like, I get to the point where I'm just like, well, I guess I'm just never talking to any of these people again, because like I'm afraid to even show my face. I'm just like, so I guess we're done, right? Like I guess that's good. It was nice.
We had a good run.
Yeah,
we had a good run. What was it? A month? Good. Let's just leave it at that. I thought with this one here, I thought shit that I pulled off should cut and run by now. Nope.
Oh god.
There's one evening, I even mentioned it yesterday. She invited me to some of her friend's house, and I was like, and then again, it's just a girl I'm seeing. It's nothing, there's no kids planned and shit, So I was like, all right, I can't come in empty-handed, So I got a bottle of John Jameson. I go over there, and it's a bunch of, it's a serious family that drinks, serious drinkers. Like, we drink out of a rock glass that's 3/4 of the way full. Like, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm here now. Okay, fine. They had a lot of food, but I'm trying to keep up with this guy who apparently is a lot more professional than I am, and I get shit-faced. And it's like 7 o'clock. You understand? Freaking shit-faced. I don't know how I made it home. All I remember is getting in the car and waking up in my bed. And I'm like, ooh, it sounds like I'm going to have some explaining to do. There's a video message on my phone. Yeah, you never know. Like, it's never going to be good. Like, somebody needed you to see something. Like, that's bad. There's a picture of me sleeping. Like, in the video. And she sits on the couch. She's like, all right. I got you in the bed. Okay. You know what? I'm leaving now.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I guess I'm not going to talk to you ever again, am I? Later I found out that, I said some shit. I fell over on her. And I'm a big boy, y'all. If y'all don't, we're, I'm 6'1", fucking 250, 260 at least. I dropped on her. Apparently, I drove home. Do not drink and drive.
No.
I drove home, right? And I drove okay. When I got out of the car, I almost got hit by another car.
Oh, God.
Just open, and I fell out of the car. So, so pretty bad.
That's funny. I had a situation that for years I thought the woman thought I was an asshole. And it was actually a closure date. And what that is, we basically agreed to break up. Wasn't working out. This is many years ago. It wasn't working out, but we have been together for like a couple of years, and it just wasn't working out. But we were like, you know what? Let's just make this officially kind of done and leave it on peaceful terms. So we went out to like a restaurant and got some dinner, just chatted it out. We're like, oh, it's good. Good luck to you and everything like that. On the way back, though, because we both lived in the same area, so took the train back. I don't know what the hell it was that I ate, but it exploded in my stomach. And it felt like knives in there. And I'm like, in the subway, and I'm like, I'm about to shit my pants.
Oh, no. When she's in the subway with you?
She's with me. And I remember it was like one of those things where like I was literally looking around thinking like, where can I shit right now?
Yeah,
on a train. And I was like sweating. There was beads of sweat started coming down my face.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and like kind of like rocking, like doing like Lamaze breathing. Oh, I'm like in so much pain. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And I'm like, but I need a bathroom now. And I was panicking. It's turned into like a genuine panic. I'm like, I'm about to shit myself
on the train
with her. And
with the girl you just broke up with.
Yes, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like she's trying to talk to me, and I'm being like super dismissive of her because I'm focusing completely on like, don't shit yourself, don't shit yourself, don't shit yourself.
Right.
So I'm just sweating there, and like she's talking to me, and she's like, letting her heart out.
Yeah.
And she's like, this and that, and I'm just like, yep. And I can't even make eye contact. I'm just like, And she's like, and I'm thinking like, she must be like, man, this guy's a fucking dick, man. I'm like just trying to talk to him. You don't have to be. I know we're breaking up, but he doesn't have to be a dick. And I'm like, I'm not. Like I'm just there like, don't shit yourself, don't shit yourself. And I'm like, I remember I started looking at like between the cars. I was thinking like maybe I could go between cars.
Yeah.
Shit.
It right there real fast.
Because it was so painful. It was in such intense pain.
Oh. And the doors did the doors in between cars open on
But I remember
yours?
I was freaking out. Next thing we know, make it to our stop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then she goes like, she's like, oh well, Apollo, like, it's been great, I guess this is goodbye. And she goes to like hug me.
Oh no.
And I couldn't handle a hug, so I remember like she went to hug me, and like kind of put her arms around me. But the second that little bit of pressure, it was like she was about to fucking blast out my ass. And so I kind of push away her hug. I go, and I put it on my hand to shake it. I go, and she's like, oh, okay, sure, I guess, yeah, shake your hand. And then I'm like, goodbye, and I go running off.
What a terrible coincidence.
Yeah, and I go running off, and she's just standing there like, wow, man, he's being really cold.
Now you know the truth. You.
Yes.
Who was left there.
Well, the thing was.
Did you make it, though?
That's another story.
Oh, wait a minute. I need closure. Wait a minute. You can't just start a story like this.
It's so horrible. So embarrassing. Oh, my God. Well, to finish that off.
you don't have to if you know what.
The answer is no. I did not make it.
Oh, no.
I made it to my building. I made it up to my floor.
Right.
I made it to my door and realized I didn't have my keys. And
but there's fire escapes and stairs and windows.
So I realized that my roommate at the time had left my keys like hidden in like a hidden spot in the building that we used to keep it. And I'm like, oh my God. So I made it to my door. I'm like, no, I got to turn around. So I had to make a U-turn, go to the spot.
Right.
I had to like go, and then as I was like making it back to the apartment, I'm like fiddling with the keys.
No.
I'm like, no. And I'm like trying to get the key in, and right then, like it was like almost like the motion of like extending my arm to get the key in, just like it was like a trigger, it was like, and it just blasted out my jeans, and just came out the pant legs, and just blasted like a puddle on the floor. It was horrifying. It was horrifying.
Yo, I had one of those.
It was horrifying. I mean, luckily it wasn't outside. It was terrible.
I laughed because I had one of those like commiserate.
Jesus.
Every single feeling was the same. Like I had, wow, that's crazy. So all of you have one of these stories.
Everyone does.
Now I know.
Anyone who says they didn't shit themselves in their life, I'm like, you're a fucking liar.
Fucking liar.
I don't trust you for a second. Because everyone has.
I used to have an internship in high school. Like, you'd go work somewhere, and once a week you'd meet up with a teacher in a school, and you would talk about it. Mm-hmm. And with us, it was some Manhattan school, I guess, some kind of office kind of thing, where the teacher would come and we'd have the one lesson of the week, and we did the internship throughout the week. So I was like, king shit at Turd Mountain. I didn't have to go to school. I just went somewhere. I worked for a senator at the time. He's in jail, by the way. Cool. Embezzlement. I worked for a senator, and once a week I got to drive out to Manhattan and, discuss on how I'm a caseworker now or whatever. Well, that day came early. I was those days excited me. It was Fridays. They excited me because, I didn't have to go to work or whatever. So I went to the city, parked the car, came early so I could park, and there was a diner there. And it was one of those, like, pre-COVID delicious, fucking greasy rat traps.
Yeah.
Just stuck in the side of an industrial building, and I'm like, yes. Eggs, bacon, home fries, cheese, and coffee.
All the proper ingredients.
Yeah, and coffee. Gotta
Yeah.
have the coffee. So I knocked that shit back. And the building, the office building that we were in is 2 storefronts down.
Yeah.
Okay. And I eat, I'm nice. I go into the office building, and, they don't let you up until, the whole thing is there. And I was like, oh, I feel a good one coming. feel a good one coming. This is nice. I got prior warning. And remember now, the restaurant is 2 doors down.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm just going to go up there to where the class is. Just got to be bathrooms on the floor. I'll take the good one. Mm-hmm. Come back down, be fine. I go in the elevator. By the time you get the second phone call.
Yeah.
Second phone call is like, listen, have my money by fucking 3 o'clock. If you don't have my money by 3 o'clock, I'm going to come there and I'll break your kneecaps. And, and I was listening to it. I was like, damn, that dude is serious.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, But I'm normal with it. I'm in the elevator. It's fine. It's moving real slow, though. By the time I get to my floor, I get the 3rd phone call. I'm on the way, bro.
Yeah.
I'm on the way right now. Okay. So I open the door opens and it's just nice. And I see that the whole office is covered with that blast shield, that.
Yeah.
And now I know that guy's walking up the stairs. The good one is about to turn into a bad one. I'm like, yo, I'm not going to make it down this slow elevator. I look around. There's a vending machine.
I just picture shit like, shit in the vending machine.
I thought about it.
Next person goes in there to get their candy bar, like, oh, what the? Exactly. Oh, I saw melted Snicker bars in here.
I think they're a few days old. Yeah. But I see the vending machine and I see an emergency exit. And I'm like, okay, that's stairs. I'm thinking, okay, if I'm going to even attempt to make this journey, it's probably going to be via stairs because that elevator, I'll just wind up shitting in the elevator that all of us are going to have to come up in about 15 minutes. So I know there's people downstairs already. If I shit in there, it's going to be bad. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I open the emergency exit, and I'm expecting the alarm to go off. It does not. All right. Now I'm thinking of thoughts of let me shit on these stairs, bro.
It's amazing though, just to say, like, when you're in that
position,
like fight or flight moment, when
right.
like your body's like, I need to shit, and it's happening now.
Yeah.
You just start looking.
Yep.
You lose all humanity.
Yep.
It's not even about like, whoa. You just like, no, I need to find a place to shit.
There's no decency.
There's no decency. It goes out the window. It's like right now, I'm in emergency mode.
Now, I opened the door, and it turned out to be a little supply closet in between the stairs. Yeah, bro. The stairs and the... So, it's a supply closet. Understand? Paper, office stuff. I'm like, yo, I may have time to make a nest. I start making a little bowl, shall we say, out of folders and papers and shit. It wasn't pretty. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, the visual is exactly the way it looks. And I know I can't make it, so it's gonna happen right there. So... And when it happens usually they're not, you're holding them back for so long. The pressure is just building, bro. It's going to happen. It's physics. So there's a shotgun effect that occurs. Now, the nest that I've made proved insufficient. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm kind of relaxed still, weirdly, because, it's out. That's the first thing. It's out. The second is I'm in a little supply closet. So I clean myself up. Yeah. Carefully, because you don't, there's no water available. So I'm using folders.
Those
and whatever.
Post-its came real handy.
Yo, I left some of my hair there in that room. But wait, it gets better. Oh, if you think it didn't get better. So I go downstairs, and there's a few people already there. And I kind of just sit down, grab the paper, start reading the paper, like nothing's wrong. Then you see the office workers come in, they go up. The blast shield open and shit. And it's an old, like, New York public building, so the windows are just, in up. Yeah. The air conditioning, in up. And, so the office fills up, then we go up, and I have to act oblivious as I'm walking past the vending machine and the emergency exit where, like...
Walk by somewhere and we're like, it's crazy, someone's shit in a supply closet. That's weird.
Sweet. And it was a hot day. A hot fucking day. And we're in that class, and slowly, but steadily, you start smelling it. Yeah. And when you smell someone else's horrible, but when you smell your own, you're like, oh fuck, that's me. And I was like, start laughing. And they sent the janitor in there, man. And that guy was yelling, like, down the hallway, like, profanities and obscenities. And I was like, I was laughing, but at the same time, I was like, I'm going to hell for this, man. I'm going to fucking hell for this.
Like, he hated his life that day and his career path.
Yeah.
He probably was like, get the clock out in half an hour. And he gets the call.
Yeah.
They're like, we need you in the supplier closet. Yeah. And it's just like a crime scene in there. And he's just like, well, fuck my life.
How do you even clean that? There's like,
you just burn it. You burn the room. That's it.
You've lost like $50 worth of valuable supplies.
You just go in there with like a bottle of bleach and just pour it on everything. Jesus.
Yeah. So
I just imagine what it must be a legend in that building now. They probably like talk about this. That janitor probably tells like the new hirees. He's like, you think you guys had it bad? You weren't here for the great supply room shit.
98.
Exactly. Yeah. There was shit all over the walls, seeping from the ceilings. Never seen so much shit in my life. Even now, when I see my hands, I still see the shit. I smell it in my dreams. I wake up, cold sweats, just seeing the shit all over the whiteout and the staplers.
Not the staplers. I still think it's Karen.
Oh, good.
She has never admitted it over the years, but I'm sure
it's got to be a legend that they tell everyone. Oh my god.
Yeah, that happened. That really happened. I didn't know there was a blast shield, man. I didn't know. I saw the bathrooms. I was there before.
It's like that moment. It's like how could this happen?
It's panic. It's pure panic because you're like, there is no way back. There's only a way forward now. It's what we do.
It's the point of no return.
And I'm looking at that vending machine and I'm like, dude, it's real close to the blast doors, man. This is going to get noticed.
Oh my God.
May as well miss class today, but I don't know how to escape. Like, they seen me on cameras going into the damn elevator. I was afraid. You know what I was afraid of? I was afraid that because a government building, I'm sitting there in class going, they're going to DNA test this shit. They're going to find it's mine.
They're going to trace it.
Yeah, just we found a hair follicle. it's
And treat it as an act of terrorism. We have
you
biological
have
terrorism.
defiled government property with a biological weapon. You use your body as a biological weapon, sir.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yo, and then I would be in fucking Abu Ghraib and like, what are you here for? And shit in the supply closet, bro.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, it was good. It was really good, bro. It was good. Now I'm here. Play some more of that rock, man.
Man, when it happened to me though, like I remember just like I felt such shame that I didn't make it. I was fiddling with that key. I was like, I made it so close, but it's like,
Because I think because it touched your clothes.
what's that?
I think because it touched your clothes.
Oh yeah, probably.
Because I had another one.
And it just gave up. It was like I knew I was so close to the bathroom. It just like I lost all muscle control. That's it. The fight was done.
Yeah.
It was like out. Oh man, it was terrible. It was so terrible.
I had one where I had to stop the car.
I had to clean it up though, because I made sure I didn't want anyone catching it. So I jumped in the shower, took off my clothes, jumped in a bag, changed it, went outside, cleaned the home out. I was like, I gotta hire it as evidence before someone else gets home or a neighbor comes out and sees this.
Burn. That's a
I was
severe
like,
burn.
I was so freaking embarrassed. I was like freaking out. But fast forward, just to tell you this. So that girl, 10 years later, met her again, and I was like, you know, I felt terrible about the way we left things off. Right. And she was like, yeah, you were like very distant. I figured you were just like upset and like mad at me. I was like, no. No. I was about to shit myself. That was the truth. I was like in severe pain and literally about to shit myself. And I was desperately trying to get away and not do that. And she was just like, she started cracking up. She's like, what? Like, and I was like, because she was like saying all these years, she just thought I was like being this real horrible asshole. Right. I'm like, nope. But, you know.
Yo.
It was just like.
That
was the true closure. The true closure was 10 years later when I explained that I had to run away because I was about to shit myself and push her hug away and everything like that.
Wow. Well, at least you gave her closure. Like, she's got to be thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know how important this was, but
Which makes you think, how many awkward situations that you've had with people where it was secretly they were about to shit themselves?
Yo, for real. For real. I told you, I had to stop the car one time. I was driving down one of these streets. From where, it doesn't even matter from where. I don't even remember. All I remember is like, this is your final warning. Like, really, man? I'm nowhere near a gas station. I'm nowhere near anywhere. And there's just these buildings, and I'm seeing the alleyways that they carry the trash out through. I'm like, yo, this is going to happen right now. I double parked in a place where you shouldn't even stop. I didn't even care. I ran into the backyard, and there was this. I got to the backyard, and you know how they have like the basement apartments? A little staircase that goes down to the 5 steps.
Yeah.
Somebody had a bad time coming out of their house the next day. Because it was like one of those where like it touched every step.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember squatting and just laughing.
That's so bad
because I was happy I made it, but at the same time I'm thinking of that poor guy behind that door.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, that person's got to think it was something personal.
Right.
They were probably like
it's
thinking
Jim.
about.
I know it's
yeah,
Jim.
Exactly. They're thinking about whoever they pissed off
Jim.
that week. Like, whoever upset them, or they
like,
upset
honey, he came and he shat on my stoop.
a neighbor they got in an argument with or something. They're like, motherfucker came and shat all over my steps.
Right.
Like,
they spilled shit on my steps. It's,
you know?
It's a story they'll keep for a while, but it really was a random person.
Like a random act of shit violence.
Right? You know what I mean? A random act of flatulence. Yo.
Like, even in the office building, they probably were thinking like, man, this must have been some disgruntled employee. Right. They probably were like looking whoever got like reprimanded that day,
or stole from the supply closet.
Yeah, or someone who got fired, and like, man, fucking Charlie came in here and shat all over the closet before leaving. You know, like,
it's a terrible thing, bro. You have to associate it with something, and when it's like just a guy like me, he has nowhere to go, man. You know, I was a trapped lion right there, man. Like, I knew it was gonna happen somewhere.
oh
like,
God.
I remember you did that trash can dirty in front of the 7-Eleven.
Oh, that was pissed though.
That was hilarious. That was the most hilarious shit I've ever seen.
It wasn't. At least it was measured as shit. Just like squeeze my ass into the trash can. And it was kind of like open on the side only.
Dude,
just like,
you were eating a hot dog over the damn trash can while peeing in it. That was like.
I pissed so bad.
That was like. I was like, you know, it's days like this that you guys should probably start having a bathroom.
Well, I remember it was a similar situation. We were kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And we go there, and we're like, "Can we use your bathroom?" And he's like, "Oh, no bathroom." I'm like, looking around. There's no other bathroom in the area.
Right.
It's a night, and I'm like,
"It's like, where do you?"
I'm not gonna make us in the car. Like, it's not gonna happen. So if there was a trash can there, you know.
Just a tip for you if you're ever out road tripping.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Listen, Russians don't give a shit. You tell them you can't use a bathroom, they'll pee on the side of your restaurant. I've seen them do it. And I understand them. Come on, man. They know you have one in there. Every business comes with one. Like, if you bought a business that has no bathroom, I think you're weird. How about that?
Yeah, I love when they say that. There's no bathroom here. It's like, bullshit, where do you go?
Yeah, exactly.
It sucks. I had to do that when I worked at a gym as a manager. But I get it from the business standpoint. There were like bathrooms for members.
Right.
And also it's because like the bathrooms in the locker room.
Yeah.
And
you don't want strangers in there.
You don't want strangers in there. There's people changing. There's people naked and things like that. You know, there's some people there that are like known, the public image. There was like, you know, we had like politicians there, celebrities. So you can't just let anyone in there. They might be lying.
Right.
That was their whole policy, is like, we can't just let strangers into a locker room. They could be taking pictures. They could be doing whatever, stealing. So there's a lot of problems with theft. You know, people go in the locker room, steal stuff.
Right.
And they would do the same thing. They were like, oh, let's go in there. And then they crack open, you know, steal your shit. So I get it from the company's standpoint. But it was always painful to me when like I would have to tell someone like, I'm really sorry, like
yeah, but you can't use our restroom.
You can't use our restroom. Like people would come in like, oh, can I just use your restroom? I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, first of all, it's like upstairs. It's like it's in the club. It's in the locker room. It's not. There's not like, if there was a bathroom right there, I probably would have let them.
Right.
But you know, I had one woman threaten to shit on the floor, and she was just being rude though.
Right.
She comes in and she's like, "Where's your bathroom at?" And I'm like, oh, sorry, ma'am. She's like, are you a member? Or are you drinking? She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where's your bathroom? I'm like, okay, yeah, it's no bathroom here for, you know, you have to be a member.
Right.
She's like, well, you better get her mop. Come shitting on your floor.
I'd have been like, it's all on camera. Have a go.
It was a camera.
I'd be like, have a go at that.
And I remember she starts like doing this thing when she pulls out her cell phone. She's like, I'm going to record you, saying that you're not going to let me use the bathroom. I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm like, but the thing was, there was literally like 2 Starbucks right next door. There was like 2 places.
They probably didn't let her shit either.
I'm like, can't you just go there? I'm like, right now, if you have to go that bad, and like, it's not even here. Like, you have to go into the building to go to the bathroom. And she's just like, no, I'm shitting on your floor right now. She starts like pulling up her dress. She's like, I'm doing it right here. I'm going to shit on your floor. You want to watch? Get ready. And I'm like, oh, God, please don't do this. And it's there in the lobby. People are like, what the hell's going on? And she's like screaming. She's like screaming like, I'm shitting on the floor. I'm shitting right now. She starts doing like a song. And she's like, oh, my God. I'm like, please don't shit, man. Please, you have to get out of here. Don't make me call the cops. I'm like, she's like, call the cops. I don't care. They can watch me shit, too. And she sat on the couch, and I'm like, oh, fuck, she's sitting on the couch. And, like, the loud, and she finally ended up getting leaving. I was like, it was one of those things where, like, it was, like, the same moment. I felt like the janitor for you. I was like, I hate my life right now. Like, why am I dealing with this?
I knew this day would come, but I didn't expect it to come so soon.
It's just like, I was, like, pleading with her. I'm like, please, can you just go next door? They will let you, the bathroom, you don't even have to say anything. Just go right to the bathroom. You don't have to, like, ask anyone. It's a Starbucks.
Did she do it?
No. Okay. No, but she stood there for 20 minutes.
So she could have easily shit.
Yeah. She was there for 20 minutes, and I'm like, and these 20 minutes have passed.
It's like, you don't have to go, lady.
You could have shit somewhere else.
Right.
So you're just fucking with me.
Right.
You're like,
you're trying to prove a point.
You're just stressing me out. Like, you know, trying to mess with me. Yeah.
I'd have locked the door on the outside, too. Now you can't leave either. The fucking, now you have to shit.
a Bronx Tale.
Right.
Now you can't leave. You know,
yeah. Like you wanted to shit on my floor.
just call her bluff.
Now you can shit
Just
on
lock
my
the
floor.
front and be like, now you're gonna shit on
like
the floor.
the cameras right there.
So everyone
and
just gather
there.
everyone out, get in the PA system. Everyone come to the lobby.
We're gonna watch someone
We
do.
got someone taking a shit on the floor.
Earl, we are sorry. Earl, we are sorry.
Like, exactly. Just look at her, just like, balls in your court. Go ahead.
Earl is just like,
Exactly.
it's fucking getting ready, bro.
Funny enough, the gym had good stories. Another shit story was good. I wasn't involved with this one. I mean, I sort of was. No, I didn't do it. But I mean, like, there was
You realize in the descriptions of this video, I'm gonna have to tell them swapping shit stories.
Swapping shit stories.
Yeah.
That's great. But no, it was funny. I go to the locker room, and the locker attendant goes like, "Oh, go look in the shower." I'm like, "What? What's up?" I'm like, "Well, what's in the shower?" You know, it's one of those things. Like, what am I looking at? And
Keep going. I'm sorry.
yeah, so I go into the shower, and there's a bunch of turds. A bunch of huge crop of turds all over the shower. You know, it's your standard locker room shower. I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
And he's like, you know, whatever. He's like, I forgot the member's name, but he was like, it's Bob. You know, like I'm like, what? You just shit in the shower? He's like, yeah, he shits there every day. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you letting him do this? I'll go talk to him. And he's like, no, he pays me $5. I'm like, what? He's like, he gives me $5 to clean up his shit.
What?
And I'm like,
What?
I was like, what are you talking about, man? And he was just like, it's fine. So he's like, he just wanted to show me. He's like, hey, look in the shower. And I'm like, and he's like, same thing. He was doing like what you just said. He's like getting the mop and everything. And I'm like,
What the fuck?
he's getting like one of those like little trash pickers, like pick up the logs.
No.
And I'm like,
no.
and I was looking at him boggled. I'm like, wait, so every day you just come into the shower and pick up turds? And he's like, yeah, whenever he's here, before leaving the room, before getting out of the shower, after getting out of the shower, he comes up to me and he hands me a $5 bill. And I mean, I
That's
know
how you know.
and that's how I know. Yeah, he's like, that means he's shit in the shower.
What the fuck?
And
I wonder what the fetish behind that is.
yeah, so I was just like, well, why would? That's not worth $5, dude.
No. First
And
of
he
all,
was fine with it. He's like, it's fine. It's $5. I don't mind cleaning some shit up. And he was totally fine for it. I'm like, don't do this to yourself. This is degrading. Like, this
Right.
guy's just literally like, clean my shit.
Right.
Like,
Right. That's literally what he's saying.
And the thing was, the showers were across from the bathroom stalls. He could literally go into the stall, take a shit, then hop in the shower, or walk out the shower, hop in. Either way, it's right there. It's like 5 feet away.
Right.
He just liked to take a shit in the shower and then hand someone $5 to go clean up my shit.
That's wow. That's got to be like something with an empowerment.
It has to be. That's like some weird empowerment thing. It's
Right.
exactly that. It's like some weird fetish shit.
And I bet
like,
you that guy has no power. And being a member of this gym and having this is kind of like his.
Oh man.
His, you know.
I just remember I was like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, this dude would literally
in the
shit in the shower and give the attendant $5 and be like, clean my shit up.
You learn something new every day. And like this, I should have never known.
There's
But
just weird people.
I suspected it, but I should have never known this. Like, it just confirms how strange people really are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're individual little quirks. It's the individual quirks, like shitting in the shower. It's very individual.
It just blew my mind. It blew my mind. This is a grown ass man who just shit in the shower, and then was just like fine with that. He's like, "This is what I do,"
and he paid for someone to clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like he premeditated this.
Yeah, it was a routine. It was a routine. That's what he came to the gym for.
Right.
He wasn't in any particular good shape,
Right.
so it looked like that's what he did. He came to the gym because we call him on like a locker room lounge.
Yeah.
You get some of those if you ever work in a gym. You get like some people who just come to the gym just to talk to people in the locker room. And it's like, I don't know if that's just the way they socialize. They never actually even work out.
Right.
They just kind of hang out and like talk to people in the locker room.
Right.
You know. So he would do
In
that.
the most awkward place you could possibly be.
Yeah. You know, oh yeah, he was just like, so this dude would just come there, hang out, take a shit in the shower, and he was like, well, you know, my day, and then walk out, be like, my day's done, pat himself on the back. He's like, should hit the gym again tomorrow. You know, like,
Shit. Like, his idea of hitting the gym and his friend's idea of hitting the gym was a totally different thing.
what you do in the gym today? I shit in the shower.
Like I'm
Good day.
Like, I'm sorry, man. Is everything okay? No, I paid for this.
This is great service.
I paid on top for this.
I'm like, does he tell people that? Does he like recommends his gym? He's like, this gym is great.
Good.
Shit whatever you want. Just pay him $5.
I shit in the sink.
Just tip him out $5.
Find Larry. If you're gonna go there, find Larry.
Find
give
Larry.
him $5. He will know what is.
Hand him a $5 bill and just point in the general shit direction. I'll take care of it.
If you want, you can just shit all the way to Larry and hand him $5 and then unconnect and walk away, bro.
Oh man, it was just,
Decouple right there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, here you go. Squeeze. Like,
it was bizarre.
like
man.
the trail goes for a bit.
It was so bizarre.
That is extremely
It boggles my
bizarre.
mind. Just telling you now, I'm like reliving the memory of it. And I was
Right.
like, what? It's like, yeah, people are weird, man. People are weird.
And you know, like, a lot of people wouldn't believe you. It's like, what do you mean shit? Like, people, I bet you people who know the guy would never believe you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like,
Like-
almost like you want to like rat him out. You like want to
like
tell.
Brian? No, he's an upstanding guy.
Yeah.
He goes to my church.
You want to tell people, like, you want to go to their job. You're like,
Like-
you know, he shits in the shower,
Like, do you know, the dude drops logs, bro.
drops logs in a
You
public shower.
hear them fall, bro. And then you wonder if you're the guy in the next stall, bro. And then, you know, it's like you hear some falling noises. and
I mean,
shit.
it's hard, but what if it's like someone waiting for the shower right after?
Oh.
It must have happened.
Is there any hot water left, bro?
Yeah, you know, like you're walking in there, you go in the shower next, you're like, what the fuck?
just
Exactly. There's a bunch of turds piled up in the drain.
Did somebody leave slippers here? Oh. You step on a
God.
warm slipper, you think somebody.
Oh, man. That's horrible.
That is horrible. That is fucking terrible. Yo. What else happened at the gym? I need to know.
Oh, Jesus, man.
I need to know.
Oh, there was bad stories there.
These people need to suffer now. it's
All right,
it's,
hold on.
it's time to air out their secrets.
A lot of bad stuff.
Was there a lot of promiscuity
Yeah.
in the gym world?
A lot of telling guys not to jerk each other off. I would get that call a lot. It was because they would use it as like a meeting spot. You would see. I remember we actually looked it up on it was one of those websites. I think it was like backdoor.com. I remember like my boss was like, check this out, and go on the computer, and it was like people saying like, meet me at this gym in this location at noon in the sauna, you know, in the steam room.
No shit.
And stuff like that. So people would use it as like a hookup spot. Like members would be like, oh, okay, and they go in there, and then like, you know,
Yeah.
they get whatever they're getting.
Yeah.
Like I remember one guy comes in, and he's like, oh, I want to see the club. I'm interested in joining. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I go to give him a tour, and we get upstairs, to the main gym floor, and as soon as we get upstairs, he's like, well, where's your steam room? It's like, it's in there. Oh, so is it cool if I could just go try the steam room out for a little while? I'm like, you don't want to see the gym? Like, he says he's interested in the gym, but he didn't want to see any of the equipment on the gym floor. He just goes, I just want to see the steam room.
He was time pressed.
And he's like, yeah, exactly. He's like looking at his watch. Is it cool if I just see the steam room real quick? I was like, get the hell out of here, dude. Like,
You told him that?
yeah, I was like, no, man. No, you can't. Get out of here. He seemed so, he was very saddened. Because clearly there was someone waiting there for him.
But there's so many different ways.
Now,
you can
I have no
do it.
problem.
Right.
Like, it's one of those situations where it's like, guys, you know, like, I'm all about getting, hooking up. That's fine.
Right.
But just not here.
Right.
Because people got to come in and clean it, and people are using it.
Why don't you just meet here and go somewhere else?
Oh, man. Yeah. I remember one time, a different locker tent calls me. He's like, this guy's jerking each other off in the sauna. I'm like...
This is how sad that it's like a normal thing. He's just like, all right.
Because I'm like...
I got to deal with this
I got to go
now.
deal with this now. Exactly. So I go up there. And the problem, too, with the sauna is, like, I get the steam room because they were, like, hidden in the steam. You can't see inside.
Right.
But the sauna was lit, and it's a glass door, so you can see everything in there. And people are just trying to go in the sauna to relax.
Right.
And I go up there, and I see these two dudes sitting next to each other, just jerking each other off. And I remember I go in there, I'm like, guys, I feel weird having to explain to you right now why this is not okay.
Right.
Like, being one grown guy speaking to two other grown men, explaining why it's not cool to jerk each other off in the sauna. And they were just like all upset. They're like, what? God. And I'm like, you guys get dressed. You got to come downstairs because we have to revoke your membership after that.
Right.
So it creates this whole situation that's awkward for everyone.
Right.
I'm like, this is awkward to have to be like reprimanding you guys. And like, now I got to cancel your memberships and all this stuff. And it's like, why are you jerking off in the sauna? Like, what are you doing? There's people in there, like, they're upset. They're like...
It's daytime.
Yeah.
It's
Man, that used to happen
fucking
all the time.
daytime. Jim, Ted.
God.
You just...
There was a lot of that.
Was it like that from the other side as well, or no? Only
Never.
the guys.
It's only the guys.
Only the guys.
Never the women. If
All
they
right.
were, no
That-
one complained.
That puts that myth to sleep. All right.
It was always the men.
I was curious about that.
There was never like, hey, there's two
There's
women
your
going...
lesbian party in the
Exactly.
fucking-
There's some women going to town on each other in the sauna. Nope. Even if it happened, there was never any complaints about that.
Like, why
It was
would you?
always the guys.
Right.
Always the guys.
Right.
And it was like group stuff. There would be like this, just like 5 dudes blowing each other in the steam room right now. I remember a member came down to me. He's like, "There's like 5 guys blowing each other in the steam room right now." I'm like, "What?" And then as soon as you go up there into the steam room, everyone's like, they're like, I'm like, "Really? Come on, please don't do this, guys." Man.
Chad, you've been here before. Was there usually a
So I mean, I never used that steam room myself, just because like after that, knowing that,
right?
it got cleaned in the morning and it got cleaned at the end of the day.
Right.
So throughout the day, it's just covered in splooge.
Oh,
Covered in hot, steamy splooge all over the seats.
No,
It was disgusting.
no.
I remember one time, it became such a problem that members were like really complaining about it. They were like, "Oh, we need you to be like security in the steam room." And I'm like, that's ridiculous. So meanwhile, I'm in a suit
Right.
and a blazer, and they wanted me to like
Stand in there.
periodically go stand in the steam room.
Get the fuck. Get all the way the fuck out of here. What?
I remember I'm like, you guys are ridiculous. I'm not doing that. Like,
Just the thought, the privilege, to have that thought. What? Like, dude, if I gotta go stand in there, I'm up in your membership, bro. Like, you're getting platinum right now.
it's like you're not paying me anywhere near enough to do that. To
Right.
deal with that.
Right.
Just freaking steam room bouncer. It's just like,
The bouncer.
oh my god, I remember that game. Yeah. The bouncer. That's an old game.
Yo, it's a really old game.
Yeah.
I remember when you first heard that shit, he was walking around for days just randomly. The bouncer.
Yep. Oh my god.
Because I think we just found it very ridiculous that you'd call the game that and it had nothing to do with that afterwards. It was a pretty fun little Streets of Rage game, though. That was pretty neat. Dog Street Wear.
Wow.
Yeah.
It goes back.
You see, it just came out of the fog.
Yeah.
Fucking that whole game just came out of the fog. I see it now. I haven't thought about it in years, you know. And now to imagine that I'll remember everything at all times, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that twice. No. No. I don't need to know that much at the same time.
That'll be interesting though. Maybe you just like it's just like when you focus on it, you can just remember it perfectly.
That's what I'm saying. How would that even work?
It'd be like watching a movie, you know?
All right.
Just like you remember a movie, but then you can also be like, let's play the movie.
Right.
And then you play the movie in your head and you can see the memory like perfectly. I don't know how that would work. That's weird.
You would have to almost, if the memory's perfect, you would relive that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, like, that's just like saying that if I remembered every girl that I fucked, would I ever need to fuck again?
That was a Black Mirror episode. I remember that talking at dinner. It was like this episode where they have actual chips, like they record everything in their brain and they could play it back. They have a little remote. They'd be like playing. They could just like put their memory up on a screen and play it. And the guy was saying, he's like, every woman I've ever been with, I just have those playbacks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was like his porn.
Mm-hmm.
He just goes back and plays back.
Him doing girls, yeah.
And he could literally watch it on TV.
Right.
And he's just like, yeah, that was creepy.
Right.
And the guy finds out he like slept with his wife, so he's like, show me.
Yeah.
And he's like making him play it back. He's like, you're going to erase it now. Erase the memory. And then he deleted the memory so he can't play it back.
Right.
I remember that. But yeah, exactly that situation.
I mean, that's the dark side of the shit that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to have shit like that. It's going to affect the psyche, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of power. And the next generation that's going to grow up with that power as a standard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, look, we gave these kids the internet. They all turned soft.
What's always interesting, like, people born, like, in the mid-2000s that are now, like, you know, older teenagers or, like, going to college.
Right.
They essentially always remember the internet and smartphones and all these things, YouTube.
Right.
They've always had access to that. So I'm like, touch screens.
Right.
You know?
We had Jab TV.
Yes, we did.
We're in those tapes.
Oh, yeah, we're in those tapes. Well, that's the funny thing. I always say to people, I feel like we were born maybe like 10 years too early.
Yep.
Because the stuff we used to do, like making the funny videos and the sketches and just silly stuff, that's exactly what people do now, too. Kids do now.
Mm-hmm.
And they become millionaires.
Right.
They put it on YouTube and they get followings.
Right.
We used to just make tapes
for fun
that we would just watch ourselves.
Exactly.
And
we'd be our own following and shit.
Even like it's funny, man. When I was like 11, I used to watch Cisco and Ebert. You know, when they used to air it late at night, and I thought it was cool. So I would do these tapes where I would literally have a mug with hot chocolate, and I would just sit in front of it, recording myself talking about a movie I watched. That's an entire genre of videos.
Exactly.
On YouTube.
It's like
there's
a
people making
reaction video.
Yeah, there's people making their whole careers as doing film critics on YouTube. That's
Right.
their whole entire careers now.
Right.
I'm like, I was doing it just for myself.
Right.
I was just making tapes and I would just talk about the film and I would act all like, I'll break it down. No one was no one was watching that.
Right.
But like,
and you had no intentions of showing it to anybody.
No. We would just play it amongst ourselves.
Right.
But I imagine if I had a platform like YouTube and I put those videos out and I was critiquing movies,
you would have had a following, man.
Yeah, and I get a following and get money. I'm like, man, I don't know. And then now I feel like, yeah, I can't go do that now. It's silly. It's oversaturated. I'm too old.
No. See, that's where you go wrong. No, I've seen some. The internet will tell you that all of your preconceptions of yourself and how bad you think you're gonna do, it's all bullshit. Somebody's fucked up a lot worse, and they don't care. They keep doing it.
Yeah.
So.
But like I said, it's a catch-22 because I'm glad. Like I felt like also like if we had that medium, we would have really taken advantage of it when we were younger. Because we loved just making videos and like little skits and stuff like that.
That shit was fun.
We would spend hours just making these things.
It was a project. It was like a whole day of a project.
It was a whole day, yeah. We're just making silly little videos like SNL style.
And we
sketches.
didn't even edit anything.
We didn't edit anything.
What editing? You know what I mean?
We would just come up with some premise, film it, and then just laugh about it.
Exactly.
But yeah, people do that now, or did it, and they make careers off of it. It's crazy. But the good thing for us too is, like I said, is also like some of that stuff is so cringy. Like I would not want to be this kid, someone who made videos in the beginning of YouTube, and that stuff's like in YouTube and then forever, and then like 15, 20 years later, we're like,
this is our first YouTube video.
This is your videos when you're like an idiot saying stupid stuff, because that's what happens now. Everything just stays there and comes back at you. I'm like, no, I'm glad the stuff that we made stayed hidden,
right?
And like, because it's
we could burn the tapes, man.
We could just burn the tapes because that shit's just silly and stupid. You don't want people seeing it.
Physical evidence. Oh yeah, we'd go to PC jail immediately if those tapes ever played.
It was so silly. I mean, it's funny, like the things that we thought were funny, but it's also kind of what everyone thought was funny back then.
I guess.
Sort of. But we were kids. It's like I remember like just trying to imitate like Mad TV. I'm like, this is what they did in Mad TV.
Right.
And
so
I was
we
like
should
11.
do that.
We should do that. Not even fully understanding it.
What Mad TV?
It was like silly shit too. Like I remember back in the 90s, it was like they had the Got Milk commercials. So we had like Got Poop.
Yeah.
And it was just, instead of Got Milk, it was just someone going and eating a piece of poop going, Got Poop. Thought it was hysterical.
Yep. Yep, the Fat Man Olympics.
Fat Man Olympics, that's horrible. Oh my god.
I know.
Oh my god.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh
dun,
my God.
dun, dun. Somebody was doing the music. Dun, 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 dun. And around the corner we would run out, just filled with every pillow in the house.
It was funny as hell.
And then
it was hysterical.
We did slow motion and fast motion.
And I love our slow motion because we didn't know actually we couldn't with a camera couldn't even do slow motion, so we would just actually just move slow.
We would just move slow. Dun, 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 dun. That was the music we had, by the way. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
And we're just like literally humming that off camera while moving slow motion.
Oh.
Fat Man Olympics. That was so terrible. That's so terrible. We would be in so much trouble for fat shaming or something like that.
Well, then there was the Italian Godfather.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been off limits.
It's just like, it's so bad because like you look at it now, it's like it's not even that funny.
It's like, what did he say? He said, "Let him have a drink."
It's just like
quickly.
Exactly, that was great. It's like when you're a kid, when you're like 11, and you're like, "What's funny? Fat people are funny." Like back then, it was like they were just like, "Let's make." It wouldn't be funny if there was fat people in the Olympics. It's such a dumb premise. You're looking at it now, I'm like, I'm more ashamed that like I thought that was funny. That was like, it's such a cheesy humor.
Our minds were developing, man. We didn't know what funny was. It was just.
I would hate myself. I would watch this like, what the hell are you thinking? That's not even funny. You could do better jokes than that.
Burn the tapes.
Yeah,
fucking burn the tapes. Yo. You really have the tapes. Burn the fucking tapes.
Oh, no, man.
Well, then again.
I used to think they were cute. Yeah. And then, like, I saw them a few years ago. Like, several years ago. I ended up, setting up a VCR. I'm like, let me go through some of these old tapes. And I'm like, this must never see the light of day. No one can ever watch this. These are so cringy. It's like the cringe factor and the cheesy factor is so high. And it's just like, this so embarrassing.
The good thing is, if someone ever finds a tape, but 80% chance they'll never watch it.
They wouldn't even know what it is.
Can't find a fucking VCR.
No, exactly. I was like, that's the one good thing. Like I said, it's on VHS, so it's like no one even know what to do with that. No.
Is there a cassette player for this? Yeah. Yes.
What is this? Is this like a huge thumb drive? What is it?
Dude, they had reaction videos of today's kids like looking at tech from the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was like the funniest shit. It really was the funniest shit. And it's like stuff that we in the 90s thought was the shit. Like a Power Macintosh computer. What?
I remember when I got my first CD-ROM computer.
Yo.
And it came with an encyclopedia. And the encyclopedia had video.
Yes.
I was blown away.
Yes.
Because I remember you could look at something and it would show you like a video of like you looked up an insect. It would show you a little brief video of the insect. I'm like, this is amazing.
Right.
I'm like, this is crazy.
The future.
Exactly.
Well, our encyclopedia was the precursor to the internet.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, it's funny. Encyclopedia is still a thing. Remember, you used to get the commercials like in the entire 1995 Encyclopedia Britannica collection.
Dude, I'm sure it's still...
Like, do they still print Encyclopedia books that they have to update every year?
Let's find out.
I was curious.
This now has piqued my
Because my encyclopedia now is like Wikipedia. You just go online and look stuff up, and it's constantly updated. But back then, that was the thing. I remember this is so sad. When I was in, I think junior high, like our teachers were saying, like, oh, you need encyclopedias. You know, for some of the work to research and stuff like that.
Right.
My parents, they didn't want to buy the new sets because they were too expensive. So they brought me an encyclopedia set from like 1959. So I remember...
I didn't even know that was an option.
They found it. I don't even know where they found it. I don't know if it was a thrift store or something like that, a Salvation Army. I don't even know what it was. But it's still there too. It's still my mom's set. But I was the whole set of encyclopedias. The problem was, when I was doing researching and in reports, all my information was from 1959. So I remember one day one of the teachers is like, kind of called me and she's like, "What? Like the stuff you're writing here is like crazy."
Right.
I'm like, "Oh, I got it from the encyclopedia," and it was completely out of date. And I was like, "She's like, none of this is valid anymore. Like so much stuff." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know what's in the book." You know, like I was like a little kid. I was like probably in 6th grade or something, and I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. That's what the book says. The book says it. I'm reporting what the book says. Oh, man.
I think the Encyclopedia Britannica is now an online website.
It would have to be.
Right.
Like, I can't,
It
yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, I can't see anyone buying sets of books anymore.
Right. Anymore.
And now it would just be like a subscription to an online database.
Dude, a thumb drive would be a waste of space for all of that.
Yeah. I mean, even like that set I have took up a huge amount of space on the bookshelf. Like, it took up a whole unit of all these books.
Right.
I'm like,
And it wasn't even like...
And they would expect you, I remember the commercial was like, they would expect you to renew it every year and get a new set.
What do you mean? What?
Because every year it gets updated. The information is constantly changing.
So what do you do with the old ones?
I don't know.
Do you...
I guess you send them in, recycle them? I don't know. Oh,
But that's a good question. I mean, it'd be nice to get like a discount off the new books if I gave them the old ones back. Can you just send me the pages that are missing?
and they were like expensive books.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, you know, information's constantly changing.
How did they expect that to be a continuable enterprise? Like, order these books this year. Next year, order 12 more. They're the same thing. They just have one new page.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what? You're taking me for a fucking ride, man.
Well, I mean, that's the same scam with, like, college textbooks, which is a whole racket in itself. But, like, you know, I remember, like, I had to take a art core class, and you get this big freaking art history book. And the book was like $300-something, $350. And it was a requirement for the class.
Of course.
But
And did the professor write it?
no.
Okay.
No, of course.
Just
It's
curious.
just
'Cause usually they write it.
No, this one, it was
Nowadays.
just like the standard one that they use.
Yeah.
And the thing was, they would be like, oh, you got to buy
A current
the
edition.
current edition.
What? They didn't even let you buy used books?
But sometimes they do. It depends. But like in this case, it wasn't in the class. They were like, oh, you got to get the current one. And I'm like, what's wrong with the one from last year?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, you have to buy the current one. And I'm like, oh, it's the racket. They just want you to
Right.
shell out the $350 for the new one.
Yep.
Even though what
And then
changed in
you're
our history?
and you're selling it for $100
Yeah. I'm like, what changed in our history from last year to this year?
in regards to art. Yeah.
You know? Oh, man, it's such a scam. Textbooks are such a scam.
But I never knew, like, some classes require you to have the current edition.
Mm-hmm. Some don't.
That's new. That's
Some
new
don't.
to me.
A lot of them did. There was some that, like, required it.
Yeah.
Some were, like, they would, what did they do? Like, they would just copy sections, and you could pay, like, instead of paying for the whole textbook, you'd pay, like, $30 for basically a printout
I got you.
of those sections. That was the cheaper way to do it. A lot of professors did it that way too. But there were some classes, definitely a few classes I had to take, several classes where they were like, you got to buy or have it, whatever. You just need the current textbook. However you get it, whatever, but you need it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you could only get it through them. You can't get it used.
You know, sometimes people was, I don't mean, it was, yeah, but that was the thing too, because they would like say, oh, you can get the used one. That was bullshit. That's such a scam.
I would fucking go get the used one and just tell them it's a new. Like, yeah, it's the new one.
You can get a used one as long as it was like that year's edition.
Right.
That was the problem.
Oh,
so you can get maybe like a lot of people with this who like whoever took the class the semester before,
right.
They'd sell the books, but they were still expensive, even like used, unless you got it from the person directly.
Right.
They maybe take like $50 off. So it was like the book was $350. Oh, you still got to pay $300. It's like
so you're really not saving shit.
All right, you know what that book is doing now? It's holding up my coffee machine. That $350 book is elevating my coffee machine a few inches so that the plug can reach the outlet. That's what that's doing.
Yeah, you should read that book. $350.
That's, I mean, there's all of our history.
Maybe
there.
it'll teach you how to draw, bro. I mean, what does it have pictures in it?
Yeah, it was just a whole art history book.
I
About the
mean,
history
like,
of art.
yeah, just saying, like, if you want to know the history of art, just look at it. Why take somebody else's interpretation? Develop your own interpretation of the art piece you're saying. That's anyway. This is diving way too deep into that shit.
Yeah.
Well, we're at 3 hours. I'm gonna wrap this bitch
All
up
right.
for tonight. But thank you so much for doing this. This was like fucking awesome, man.
I'm glad I finally got brave enough to do it.
Dude, let's do this shit again and again because like this dude is. If y'all weren't laughing like me, I was fucking peeing and crying, and he was nervous. So let's get him a little more open because he's gonna do stand-up comedy. This guy, I know he is. So watch him now. See the face. That's gonna be the guy introducing me to Joe Rogan. Certain,
We'll see.
You know,
Stand-up's ever a thing again. We'll see.
it's a thing. It's never going anywhere, man. But again, thank you so much for doing this, and
Thank you, brother.
I see y'all later, man.
Take care.